A pleasant morning to all Toastmasters present here. I'm Toastmaster Jenny from TCS Mighty Alpha Toastmasters Club, and I will be MC for today. I take immense pleasure in welcoming our District Chayo, Toast District Director DTM Aarti Mangalam Jairaj, and our Program Quality Director DTM Gayatri CJ, and our Club Growth Director DTM Mohana Krishnan, and hero of the show, our District Chief Judge Toastmaster Distinguished Toastmaster Subhati Banik, and also it's my pleasure to welcome district leaders and club officers and members. Once again, I welcome everyone to this Judges Training Program, wonderfully organized by our TLE Chair Toastmaster Arun Kumar along with his team. Thank you, sir. Every time when there is a contest, it's not just the contestant and role players who make the contest a huge success. Behind everything, there is a team which always works silently, and we all know that they don't reveal their identity. But however, they take it as the responsibility to identify and bring out the real champion and speakers through their fair and unbiased judging. Yes, they are none other than our chief judges and voting judges, who are mostly called as hidden judges in the contest. But in today's today's judging program, they are not hidden judges, they are voting judges, where we all will get trained by our CJ. Without any further delay, I welcome our District Director DTM Aarti Mangalam Jairaj to share few words to our future CJ and VJ of District 120. DTM Aarti Mangalam Jairaj, who has been a Toastmaster since October 2016. Starting off as Vice President Education, she has served as Assistant Area Director, TLE Co-Chair, Area Director and Division Director of Division F, Program Quality Director of District 120, and currently serving as District Director. Yes, she has also been a district contestant in table topics and division contestant in ISC and evaluation contest. A leadership trainer, a linguist, a coach, and a mentor. DTM Aarti has 19 years of experience in the learning and development space. A triple postgraduate holder in mass communication, journalism, linguistics, and psychology. She is currently pursuing her PhD. She also had a diploma in criminology. With a wide range of interests, she pursues education based on her passion. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Janani. A very warm good morning to the members of District 120. Rather than having an official address, I thought we'll play a game. Are you game for the game? Fantastic. I have a coin in my hand. I have a 2 rupee coin in my hand. I'm going to toss the coin. If I get heads, I win. If you get tails, you lose. Right? If I get heads, I win. If you get tails, you lose. Shall we play? Except for the district CJ and Partha, I'm seeing everyone being okay with it. Okay, now Gayatri says no. And my daughter clearly says, Amma, this means yes, this means no. So now tell me, why are you not okay with this game?
Because
result is fixed already.
So either way, I will win. That's what you don't want, right?
It's a win-lose game.
Rules are meant to make sure both the parties enjoy the game. If this was the rule for this game, I would be absolutely happy. But after some time, you will be frustrated. And the truth is, freedom comes only when there are rules. But we got into a mindset where we want to break the rules. If someone uses the word rules, it's like some big crime. They are completely controlling us, right? Rules are there in any walk of life to be able to smooth or easen our journey. And that's what we do here also in Toastmaster. And one of the biggest challenges, in fact, in psychology, there is a particular concept known as Buridan's ass or Buridan's donkey. John Buridan was the person who came up with this term. He says, if you have a donkey who's equally thirsty and equally hungry, and let's say from the donkey to the left 5 meters away, you have a stack of hay. And again, 5 meters away on the right, you have a pail of water. Because both are equidistant, and for this donkey, both are equally important. It will not know whether to move to the left or move to the right and end up dying out of thirst and hunger. That is the challenge with decision making. When there is something which is equally important for us, how do I decide? Sorry about that. How do I decide? Where do I give the ranking to? And that is what JTP is here for. It is not about how you're going to decide who is the better speaker, but what are the parameters that Toastmaster says must be evaluated for a speech. And the entire idea of this session is to enable you or arm you with tools and techniques on how to make sure we follow the patterns set by Toastmasters in terms of running a contest. Running a contest is itself a big challenge. So what are the tools that recommended to run a contest? As a judge, what should you take into consideration while judging? And as a chief judge, how do you have the 360-degree approach to make sure every aspect of the contest is smooth and we have a fantastic experience in the contest? While I wish all of you a fantastic experience in the contest, I all of you wish a fantastic experience in this entire JTP, where you will learn everything that you wanted in this particular session, and wishing you all a fantastic contest season. Thank you so much, and back to you, MC.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insights to all our CJs and VJs. All right, the most awaited segment of JTP is here. To proceed further, now I invite our District Chief Judge DTM Subhadik Panik to explain us about humorous rules and proceedings. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, our MC Toastmaster Janani. And very, very good morning to all of you. I would request everyone to please come on video. Host, can I request you to remove me from spotlight? It looks pathetic to see my face so big. Trust me. Okay, nobody wants to see me. Everybody wants to concentrate on the rules. So let's keep it that way. The reason why I said to remove me from the spotlight is let's try to make it as human as possible, that we can see all of us and we can see all of our faces. So what we'll do is, to start with, before we get into the serious stuff, we'll play a quick game. I will not cheat you like Aarti did. Okay, I am not the district director. I can play any game that I want. I'm not going to do that. Okay, we are going to do this. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell you a few objects. Okay, and if you have it in front of your hand, you have to show it on camera. Okay, very simple. You can get up and get it also if you want, but you have to bring it and show it on camera. Okay, so first one, how many of you have a coffee cup or a tea cup in front of you? Mug, cup, anything? Show that on camera. Show that on camera if you have it. Okay, Gayatri has, I see. Zoom Master Anand has. Oh, Kiruva has a coffee mug full of pen, but yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Perfect. Okay, I see a lot of us have. Perfect. Okay. How many of you have water bottles in front of you? Water bottles. Water bottle, water glass will also work. 2 water, 3 water bottle. Oh my God. Okay. Sridevi has 3 water bottles. I don't know why. Okay. How many of you have a pillow near you? Have a pillow near you? Even a cushion. Arun, please note, these are the people who will fall asleep after half an hour. Okay. Please take a note. Okay, a final few things. How many of you have a pen near you? Yes, okay, good. And how many of you have a notepad in front of you? Yes, super. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. I just to break the ice a little bit, but trust me, we are here to have a little bit of fun as well while we will be concentrating on the rules, and that notepad and pen are going to be your best friends today. Okay, there are a lot of rule changes, as Aarti has mentioned, that these rules are not to impose something on you unnecessarily. We are not here to do a policing job on you. And we understand all of you are not school students. Come on, right? So we don't want to be those class teachers who will monitor you like all of that. But we want to make sure that whatever we do in the contest seasons, as of now, we are concentrating on the humorous speech and the evaluation contest. So from that perspective, whatever we do in this contest season, we do it in a fair way. And more importantly, whatever we do it uniformly. Like whatever we do across the district, be it at a club level, area, division, district, we do it uniformly across the district, right? So that is going to be our today's objective. And as I said, please try to be on camera. It gives a great feeling to have that human touch. We had great fun when we had this in person. And I have the permission from the district trio that next time we will not have an online JTP at all. We'll have only in-person JTPs. Okay. So last time also when we had the in-person JTP, Gayatri and Mohan made my job very easy by setting the right context to this. And today Aarti has done the same as well. So with this, what we are going to do is we are going to get into the rules, and this is what we are going to do. So we are going to first look at few of the rule changes that has happened in this year's Toastmasters rule book, right? We are going to go through few of the generic stuff. Then we are going to get into the specifics of humorous speech contest. And then we are going to go into the specific of evaluation contest. And after that, we are going to get into the contest management part, where we are going to go through how a contest is run for those of us who are doing it for the first time, and few other aspects of online, hybrid, and in-person contest. Okay, are we good with that? Yes. Okay, and all of this time, I want you to please be as interactive as possible. Please feel free to interrupt me anywhere in between as well. Do not use the chat window, unmute yourself and speak up. In Toastmasters, we are here because we want to learn to speak. So let's not convert that skill into typing skills. Let's speak up and let's be as interactive as possible. Okay, so with that, let me start sharing my screen. Okay, quickly, am I still visible, audible, and are the slides visible to everyone?
Yes.
I said speak up.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. Good. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. As I have said, we are going to go through some of the contest rules. This is what today's agenda is. We're going to go through some of the contest rules. Then we are going to get into the judging criteria, humorous and evaluation contest. And then we are going to look into contest management, few of the contest management stuff. Okay. Now, this is the actual agenda, but the real agenda is we are going to try to find some loopholes in this. As it is, we Toastmasters are very good in finding loopholes. So we are going to see if there are any loopholes. We as human beings are good at judging people. So we are going to get better at judging other people. And finally, let's help the VP out a little bit. Anyways, during the contest season, the VPs, the area directors, they struggle a lot to find role players and contestants. So let's try to help our VP during the contest season. Okay, so let's go through some of the rules. Are we okay with it? And I will show you some questions, and please feel free to answer them by unmuting. Okay. Yes. Can I get a yes, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I hear some yeses. They are overlapping as well. Okay, first one. Who is eligible to be a contestant?
Someone who is having active membership status.
Any member of the club.
Any member of a club, okay.
In good standing,
Active
and the
member
club
of the
should
club.
be in good standing too.
Good standing, club should be in good standing.
Good standing.
Okay. And remember, we are talking about humorous speech and evaluation contest only as of now. We are not going into ISC. Okay, anything else?
They should have paid membership fees.
Correct. So any member who is a member in good standing or is from a club in good standing. What is meant by a club in good standing? What is meant by a club in good standing?
Membership more than 8.
Has a minimum
More than
of
8 members.
Eight
or
or more
eight or
members.
more.
Correct. 8 or more members. Even if the club has 8 members, it's a club in good standing. Given the current season, remember in September, your renewal cycles are coming up. So if your contest is, let's say club contest has happened before the renewal cycle, that person must have renewed after that also for them to be eligible in the area contest. Let's say someone has qualified from the club contest to the area level. They have not renewed, then they will be ineligible in the area level. Okay, so they have to be still a paid member. Okay, who is not eligible to be a contestant?
District officers.
District
Officers.
District leaders.
District leaders. Which district leaders?
Area directors.
District 120.
Division directors.
District 120 district leaders. Okay, which specific area directors?
Division directors.
Division directors.
Top 7.
Trio.
Top 7.
Is it top 7?
Or only trio?
Or only trio? Doubt, right?
No,
Doubt,
from area director onwards.
From area director onwards, everyone. Okay, so these are the people who are not eligible. Immediate past district director, your district director, club growth director, the top 7 basically, all the top 7, they are not eligible to be a contestant. Division director, your area directors, they are not eligible to be contestants. Anyone who is serving any international officers role are also not eligible. As of now, the third one does not apply because the nomination slates have not opened. However, please remember, let's say, just for example, let's say a contestant has qualified till the district level. Okay, has won the division also and has gone to the district level. If that person nominates to be a district officer for the next year, when the January slots are open, if they nominate, then they will become ineligible to contest in the district level. Okay, so if they nominate to be a, let's say, district division director or that of any of the top 7 roles, they will become ineligible at a district level. Okay, and members who are serving in contest officials or presenter roles in that contest. So it cannot, please do not do this, that there is a contestant in humorous speech contest and they are serving the contest master of evaluation contest. Don't do that. Okay, that because in our district, how we follow is humorous speech and evaluation contest happens at the same time, right? On one day, we do it as one contest. So that will be treated as one contest. So do not do this, that there is a contestant in one of the contests, they are serving a contest or contest management role in the other contest. Clear about this? Okay. Please note, I am again repeating this, I am not monitoring the chat window. If you have any question, if you have any comments, please voice it out. Okay, please unmute and speak up. Okay,
yeah.
Moving to the
next clarification.
Yes.
District officers of any district, not just our district.
Yes. Yes, thank you. District officer, if some other district director comes and wants to contest in our district, not allowed. Any district officer, yes, not only of 120. Thank you, Gayatri. Okay.
One more doubt, sir. Can a contest chair take up any role if we don't get any role players for the contest? Like
yes,
SA or Zoom
that
master.
is different. We are talking about contestants only. A contest, there can be one person serving 2 roles if absolutely needed. We will not encourage that, but if absolutely needed, that's okay. For example, a contest chair can be the contest master also. But again, I'll tell you, for contest chair alone, try not to give the contest chair other roles. If it's okay if, let's say, for example, the humorous speech contest master can be the timer in evaluation contest. Just for example, I'm saying, if you don't have so many role players. But what will happen is contest chair have a lot of other things to do as well. In fact, if there is protest that is coming up, it will be lodged with the contest chair also. They have to monitor whether the contestants are there during the contest as well. So there are already too many things for the contest chair. Try not to give the contest chair some other roles. It's okay to distribute the other role plays. Okay, again, just an advice from our past experience of managing contest. Bindu, I hope I answered that question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So moving on to the next one. If I am a member for more than one club, how many club contests can I contest from?
At club level, I can contest in both.
Okay.
But beyond club, only one he or she can contest.
Okay, so at least club level, how many can I contest from? Everyone.
Both clubs, yeah. If In more
Okay,
than one.
Ishwaran says both clubs. Others?
We can contest in both the clubs.
Both. Shakti also says both. Okay, so this is as many as I want. Even if I'm a member of, let's say, 4 or 5 clubs, I can contest from as many club contests as I want. It doesn't matter how many clubs I'm contesting from. The next part of it, if I win in a contest from more than one club, how many area contests can I contest from?
Only one.
Only
Only
one.
one.
Clear? Yes, only one across the world, not just in District 120. Please remember this. So for example, let's say I am a member in a club in District 120, and I'm a member, let's say, in a club in District 82 as well, right? And I have won the humorous speech contest in both the clubs. I cannot say that I will contest in the area level in District 120 also, and I'll contest in the area level in District 82 also. I can contest only in one area. Okay, so I can contest only from one area. And also remember, I can do, let's say, just to clarify this a little bit, let's say I have won from humorous speech contest also and evaluation contest also from multiple clubs. I can do this, that one of the area I compete at humorous level, I compete in evaluation in another area. This I can do. Okay, this is one thing. I'll just clarify this. Audi, I'll come to the question part. Give me 1 minute. Okay. So this is one part.
Shubdeep, can you please repeat it again?
Okay. So let's say I have one.
Can we say contest speech type so that it's easy for everyone to understand?
So that's what I'm saying. So let's say I have one from humorous speech contest and evaluation contest in multiple clubs. Okay. I'm a member of many clubs, and in all the clubs I won in both the contest. Let's say I choose that I am a member of, let's say, area A1. I choose to participate in humorous speech contest in area A1, and I can participate in a evaluation contest in, let's say, area B1. I can do this. However, let's say I have participated in humorous speech contest in area A1 and I lost. I cannot go to area B1, which is happening next week, and contest again in humorous speech contest. Once I have contested, whether I win or lose, I am done contesting at the area level. Clear? Now questions. Bala sir, Audhi, you had questions. Please go ahead.
No, got it.
Being a chief judge, how would we identify that?
Identify what?
Whether the participant participated in any other club, any other area.
You have to get that information from the district, from the other area directors and the contest management team. See, this is where we say, ideally speaking, in our way of working, there is no way of tracking. Actually, there is no proper way of tracking. So you have to rely on the integrity of the members. But please try to find it out. This is where the contest chairs, a little bit of due diligence also comes in, to find out whether this person is a member of other clubs also or not. Try to find out whether they have already contested in any other area or not, and all that.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, clear? Any questions on this rule?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Let's go to the next one. Who is eligible to be a voting judge, chief judge at a club level contest?
Those who completed JTP training.
Those who have completed JTP training. Okay. Thank you,
Those who
Jayakant.
have completed level 2 in pathways.
Those who have completed level 2 in pathways. Okay.
And member in the
and member, obviously has to be a paid member. Okay.
And also have to attend the JTP.
Have to attend the JTP. Okay.
He should not be a member in the same club where he is judging.
Ideally should not be. Yes.
Active members.
Active members. Yes.
Of course, he should also be part of the club in good standing, member in good standing.
Part of a member in good standing. So remember, at a club level, there is no rule that the person should have completed level 2 or something like that. At a club level, any member who is a member in good standing of a club in good standing can become a judge, can become a voting judge or a chief judge. However, for the quality of the contest to be good, for the quality of the judging to be good, we recommend select members who would have completed the level 2 at least. Okay. And also, when you are choosing a chief judge or as a chief judge, you are finding the voting judges, it is always recommended do not get the judges from the same club, because you'd never know who has a bias or not. To make it fair, you always choose judges from other clubs or other areas if possible. This is a recommendation to maintain fairness in the contest. There is no particular rule that says that you cannot. Okay. But again, this is a recommendation that you must follow, that we strongly insist you follow, that we have been following in the district as well. And definitely try to find out people who have attended the JTP, because if they have attended the JTP, then they know the updated rules. And very importantly, they know the seriousness of contesting. They understand the judging criteria as well. Because see, at the end of the day, all these world champions or the district champions that we see start at the club level. So we have to make sure that the judging is of standard at the club level as well. Okay.
Subhadeep,
yes.
So can we choose a chief judge who is not approved JTP?
Ideally, we would say no, because they would not know the rules. Definitely don't choose a chief judge who has not attended the JTP.
So what if they attended the JTP the previous year?
No, because there are a lot of rule changes that has happened. There are a lot of things that has changed in the current year. And especially because this year there will be hybrid contests in the club as well. Chief judges who have attended only in the last year would not know how to may not know how to handle it. I wouldn't say would not. There are experienced people who might, but may not, try not to take that risk. Okay, because there are a lot of rule changes as well. They might not know what those rule changes are. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next one. Who is eligible to be a voting judge or a chief judge at area, division or district level? So what are the additional criteria on this?
He should have judged in the club level, one level prior to that. When you
at least should have some experience.
Yeah, okay. Some experience in the previous level.
Okay, okay.
Experienced at a club level.
Experienced at a club level, okay. Anything else?
Attended the judges training program compulsory.
Attended judges training program. Definitely the level of the contest is getting higher, so we would definitely want them to do that. So remember, additionally, in area or division or district level, they have to be a paid member for at least 6 months. It cannot be someone who has joined just now can be a judge at a division or district level. They should have been a member for more than 6 months. They should have completed either level 6 in the traditional competent communication manual, or at least level 1 and level 2 in any level, in any path in the new pathways. Okay, this is a compulsory criteria in addition to all those criteria at an area level or a division level contest. Okay, so this, what it does is it gives the people a little bit more experience to judge the contestants. Okay, quickly going on, who is not eligible to be a voting judge or a chief judge at a division level or a district level contest?
Who may be the participant?
The participants. Okay, definitely a contestant cannot be a judge.
Yes. Or somebody from the same area division.
Ideally, someone from the same area or that division. Correct.
Of course, if there is any participant from his club, he should not be the chief judge.
True. Okay.
Or even the voting
Have
judge.
taken any other rules in the contest?
Okay, okay. So here's the thing. So in addition of abiding by the rules, obviously those who do not follow that rules will not be eligible anyways. Addition to this, remember, elected district leaders of District 120 are not eligible to be a judge. which includes your district director, program quality director, and club growth director, and your division directors only, not area directors, because your division directors and the trio are elected leaders. The other 4 in the top 7, right? Administrative officer, your finance officer, all of these people are eligible. Your area directors are also eligible. Okay. Now remember, in an area level or a division level contest, it is recommended that again, it's a recommendation that the judges and the chief judges should not be from that same area or that same division. Okay. Any idea what happens if you absolutely have to get a judge or a judge from the same area or a division? What is the rule to that? Let's say you're not getting anybody at all and you have to find someone from that same area. What do you do?
Get approval from district director or chief judge.
Get approval. Unfortunately, we do not have so much of power.
Yeah,
yes, Nathan.
You have to have equal representation of all clubs.
Correct. Areas. Yes, you have to have equal representation. So which means, let's say you are a chief judge in an area contest, and in that area there are 4 clubs. Okay. You have to have minimum 1 judge from each of the 4 clubs. We'll come to the number of judges a little later when we talk about contest management, but you have to have at least 1 judge from each of the clubs. Similarly, at a division level, if you're choosing someone from the division, you have to have at least 1 representation from each of the areas. Okay, to maintain that fairness. Okay, perfect. Now, clear about this part. We will not get into the contest management as of now. Clear about these few rules. Okay. Any questions on these things that we have discussed till now?
This is Harigaran. I have a question. Yes. Actually. So I belong to Shell Chennai Toastmasters Club. So I've been with Shell Chennai Toastmasters Club for quite a while, at most like 7 years. But I discontinued in the last 5 years and I rejoined now. So that criteria will apply to me as well, because I have already done CC2 level already in my older club. Now in my new club, it's a new pathway I have to find and I have to do that. So
if you have done your CC6 in the old path, the traditional path, you're eligible. If you have not completed CC6, then you're not eligible from the educational perspective. From a membership perspective, since you have already have a continued membership earlier, even if you have joined the club, let's say lesser than 6 months, you're still eligible to be a judge. Okay. So as long as you have done CC6, if you have not completed level 1, level 2 also, you're still eligible to be a judge at an area or a division level.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Vijay.
Earlier, we had exceptions for charter clubs. They need not have the eligibility criteria. Is the rule still in place?
Is that for judges as well? I thought that was only for contesting. For contesting, yes. For contesting, charter clubs do not need to have that criteria. For judges, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Subhadeep?
Yes.
So for humorous speech, we need to complete L2 or 6 speeches. What about the evaluation contest?
This is not for, please understand, this is not a criteria for contesting. This is a criteria for judging.
Okay.
Okay. We are not talking about criteria for contesting. Okay. In humor, to be a contestant in humorous speech or an evaluation contest, there is no criteria. You just need to be a member. In fact, if you're in both the contests, let's say your club contest is tomorrow. If you have paid your membership today, means you have paid it to TI, not to the VP membership or the treasurer. It has to be paid to Toastmasters International. If it is paid today also, you're eligible to be a contestant in tomorrow's contest. So there is no restriction in that. These are the criteria that we had discussed. The criteria for CC6 or that level 1 or 2 is for judging at an area or a division level contest. For that matter, district as well.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one question here.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just planning for going a contestant, and I'm planning for doing a voting change for other division. Belongs to E division. I'm just planning for doing a F division. Is it feasible or it's not be feasible to do that?
Okay, so if you are a contestant only at a club level, you can do judging at any other level. Okay. Yeah. But if you're a contestant at an area level, let's say you have won from your club and you are going to represent your club at an area level, then you are not eligible to be a judge at any other contest.
Okay.
Okay. And same, so it's mutually mutually canceling. I'm not getting the right word. So if you have actually judged mutually exclusive, thank you so much. Mutually exclusive. So if, let's say, you have judged at any area level contest, you become ineligible to contest at an area level automatically. Similarly, once you have contested in an area level, you become ineligible to be a judge at any other area level.
Okay.
Okay. This is a long-standing rule. Yeah. I'll take help of the past Chief Judge. Vijay, I hope I'm right on this. I explained.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. I hope I explained that in the right way. Okay.
Even if you have lost the contest, Subhdeep,
after you have lost the area level contest, then you can go and judge.
Yeah, correct.
After you have lost it, then you take out that frustration on other contestants is different. No, just kidding. But yes, you are eligible to judge.
Okay.
Should there is a question in the chat where they want you to elaborate on club in good standing.
Club in good standing is, thank you Aarti for mentioning that. Club in good standing is any club which has 8 or more paid members. Okay, it should have 8 or more members, standing 8 or more members in good standing. Again, members in good standing are members who have paid to Toastmasters International. Okay, I'll just open the, okay, yes, I see a thank you as well. Okay, clear on all of this? Yes? Okay. Yes. Okay, fine. Now, what we are going to do is, now we are going to go into a little bit of judging. Okay, so let's be judgmental to other people, and I'm sure all of you have done this some point or the other, if not at Toastmasters, in some other forum or something, right? How many of you are here?
Before you move over to the judging thing, completing 6 speeches under the CC, you don't have a record. Only when you complete 10 speeches, you get the CC, and that's represented. Under the old system, you don't upload each and every. Here we have L1, L2, each time it is there, and it's reflected there. But we don't have a method of checking whether the person has completed 6 CC speeches under the old traditional system.
Correct. True. Definitely, Madhu sir, very true. And this again goes back to what we used to do earlier. This record used to be there with the club VPs. So if someone is from the old system, my recommendation is, again, go ahead and check with the VPs of that club. You can manually check. There is no other way, unfortunately, to do it. And being Toastmasters, I think we all maintain our integrity to do that. Especially being the old timers, we know we have to maintain that integrity, and we have to rely on the integrity of the members to a certain extent. Unfortunately, that's how it works as well. But yes, definitely there is no official record of checking CC6. You have to check with the members and their clubs in any way if they have a record or not. Thank you, sir, for bringing that up. Okay, so let's quickly go into humorous speech contesting. Okay, now before I go ahead, does everyone have the contest ballots? Where do you download the contest ballot from? Where can you get the contest ballot from?
Toastmaster website.
Yeah.
Toastmasters.
Contest kit from Toastmasters website.
Correct. Contest kit from Toastmasters website. Please do not download it from anywhere else. Right? There are a lot of other websites in the internet by many other districts where you can directly download and all that. Please do not do that. if there is a change, you will get the latest updated one from the Toastmasters website itself. Okay. Was there a question? Okay, no, I think that's a background noise. No problem. So anyone seen this? Looks scary?
Yes. Yes.
Seen this? Wow. Half of my effort is done. People have at least seen this. Okay, so this is what the humorous speech ballot looks like, right? Now, what we are going to do is I'm going to explain some of these rules, okay, how it works and how it should not work. Again, remember, this is a recommendation. Okay, we are not enforcing you that you have to follow this. This is a recommendation so that the judging quality is good. Okay, we are going to explain some of this, and then we are going to show you a humorous speech, and I want you to judge that speech. Okay, see whether how you are going to mark it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So this is what all the criterias are. So 55, first and foremost thing, 55% of your marks is on content. Okay, on this is your speech development, effectiveness of the speech, speech value, and audience response. Now, something I want to mention over here is I have seen, again, this is from my experience, I have seen many times what people do is they listen to the entire speech and then they simply go ahead and, oh, I think this was a great speech. Let's give 70 on 100. How do you know what is 70 on 100? How do you know what is the difference between 70 and 60 on 100? Please, please do not do that. Okay. I will not tell you that you have to mark during the speech or you have to mark after the speech. Whatever you want to do, if you have a great memory, if you are such an experienced person who can remember every single aspect of a 7-minute speech and mark it at the end of the speech, please go ahead and do that. I don't have any problem at all, but break down your marks. But if you feel that no, I may not remember every single aspect of the speech, please try to mark it during the speech as much as possible. Whatever it is, I'll quickly go back to the previous one. Whatever it is, make sure you mark according to each of the criteria. If you see, even in content, even in the content part, speech development has 15 marks. Effectiveness has 10 marks. Speech value has 15 marks. Audience response has 15 marks. So which means no matter how great the audience response is, you cannot give more than 15 marks for audience response alone. Right? Just because somebody is laughing too much, you cannot give them 50 based on audience response alone. Please understand this. Similarly, understand what is the speech development. Okay. So this is where I'm going to come to. I'm going to quickly go through each of these things and then I'll take a few more questions as well. First and foremost, what do you mean by speech development? Quickly, what is your understanding of speech development in a humorous speech contest?
The way it is organized.
Way it is organized?
It has a proper structure from beginning, body of content, and also the conclusion.
This introduction, the body, and the conclusion has to have a proper structure. Okay. Anything else?
Transitions.
Transitions as well. Okay.
Okay. Considering it's a humorous speech, it's the placement of your jokes, the placement of your.
Perfect. So Shashank, here's the question. Does that fall under speech development or any other criteria?
The introduction. It falls under effectiveness as well.
Correct. Yes. So see, this is why I'm saying is it's not that it's a hard and fast rule, right? But this is where we need to understand where we are judging. Because as I said, if you look at for the speech development, I can give 10 marks. 15 marks. But for the effectiveness, for the placement of the jokes and the effectiveness of the jokes, I can give only 10 marks. So this is where I need to understand how I am judging. Again, it's all to your individual, what you think is right or wrong, but this is where the breakup comes. Okay. So, okay. Effectiveness is definitely your whether the humor works or not, whether it is effective or not, and all that. What is speech value? What is meant by speech value?
The message that is delivered through the speech.
the message, whether I am able to understand the message itself or not. Again, please one more thing I want to caution over here. Original thought. I have this understanding, and many other old-time Toastmasters will come and tell you there are no original speeches anymore in this world. Everything is somewhere or the other, same thing we are talking about, right? But understand how much originality that person is bringing from their own story, their own anecdote, something on that note, right? And definitely is your audience response. Now, in audience response, I want to mention one thing very, very carefully for those of you who will be taking up judging. Please understand, this year there will be lot of definitely online contest. If it is a fully physical contest where everybody is physically present, then this audience response is not a challenge, because you will see what audience is responding. However, if you are a part of a hybrid contest at a club level or at a division level, if you are judging in a hybrid contest, please do not go by whether audience is laughing or not. Okay? Because what will happen is, let's say if you are an online judge, you will not be able to gauge that audience response. Similarly, let's say there is an online contestant. Maybe the audience who is physically present is not laughing as much. Maybe the online people who have joined, they're laughing their heart out at home. You don't know. So when you take the audience response part into consideration, see that what is your response. This is a suggestion. Please do not go by whether people are laughing or not. If you think that is humorous, you are it making you laugh, then you take that as your audience response. Okay. If you are like, oh my God, that is a brilliant one, ha ha ha, you give more marks. If you're like, ha, nice, maybe you give less marks. Take it for what is your response. Treat yourself as an audience, how you are responding to that, you do that. Okay. This is again to maintain fairness in especially a hybrid contest mode. Clear about these? Any questions about the content part?
I have regarding speech development. What is the support material?
Support material is, it can be any form of data, it can be any form of props, right? It can be anything that that person uses which supports the story that the person is saying.
Say, so, yeah, you mentioned about original thought. Suppose if someone is using 1 minute story from internet story, some story, is it still do we consider as original thought?
I'll come to that, or I come to that part of that originality, the eligibility, and all of these part when we talk about the contest management. Okay, I'll come to this part. Okay, one more thing, for since you brought up the support material, you will see sometimes people use props forcefully. So that is where also you try to understand whether that prop is actually supporting the speech or not. That's where support material comes in, something on that note, right? If it is actually being used or it is being forcefully used, things like that, you be the judge of that. You understand whether it is actually needed or not. Okay, quickly moving on. Next is your delivery. Now, again, this is something where you need to be a little careful, especially given the hybrid contest mode this year. Please do not consider that just because, let's say, somebody is doing it from home, you think that, oh, this person has a lot of space to move around, or they set up the camera in their own way, and that is why they have an advantage. Don't treat this as well. Vice versa, just because somebody is present in a physical venue, they are getting an advantage, or they are using it more or not using it more. It's not about that. Don't treat the venue of it, whether the person is online at their home or the venue itself. See that, let's say, for example, here, now that I'm sitting here, the camera, whatever the frame is visible, is my body language appropriate to this frame? Similarly, if I am present in a physical venue, is my body language appropriate to that stage? That is where you need to understand. Body language is not just whether I'm jumping around, I'm saying, so we should be using body language so much and I'm keeping doing this. This is also not body language for the sake of body language, right? Is it appropriate body language? Similarly, when it comes to voice as well, please try not to demark someone because of a logistic issue. Okay. You are not able to hear that person at all. You cannot help it. But maybe the acoustics of the hall is not great. Because of that, you don't demark a contestant. Treat all the contestants fairly. Again, especially in a hybrid contest, you will see the audio system on the physical venue will be different compared to the audio system of each of the person. That's why I'm saying don't consider the logistics into mind. Have that common sense that this might be a mic problem. So have those things, do it fairly. Whatever you're doing, do it fairly. Make sure you're giving justice to both your physically present contestants and your online contestants. Right? You're not demarking or giving more marks to one or the other. Okay. Mannerism is how direct they are, how enthusiastically they are speaking. This again sometimes happens. Somebody might be very comfortable at home. They might not be comfortable in a physical venue. So please have a fairness to that. Clear? Delivery part? Yes, no? Everybody is gone silent.
Yes, Shabdi.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Finally is your language. This is the third criteria, your appropriateness and your correctness. Please understand this again. I have several times seen somebody uses a lot of flowery language. I feel this person's English was great. They use a lot of metaphors and all of these things. I give a lot of marks. You cannot give more than 15 marks for language. Similarly, you cannot cut more than 15 marks also if their language is not great. Okay. So the only thing I'm trying to establish over here is remember the division of these marks. Okay. Look at each of the division and mark accordingly. Understand how much maximum or minimum mark you can give on each of these criteria. Okay. I take a quick pause. Any question, any thoughts on these humorous speech judging criteria? I know there are a lot of experienced Toastmasters also here in the meeting. If you want to share any experience or add anything from your judging days, please do add in.
I have a question, Shabdeep.
Yes, Ishwaran.
One of the important things in humorous contest is the speaker should not hurt the sentiments of anybody in the form of humor. Where does it fall under here?
So you can take that as your audience as your audience response also, or your effectiveness also. See, when we talk about effectiveness, the effectiveness also says reception. Whether I'm receiving it in a good way or a bad way, both falls under that.
Okay.
Right. So if I think I have some similarity with it, or I understand that feeling and, oh yeah, true, this has happened with me. That's a good reception for me. So again, treat it for yourself. Don't think whether other people will receive it well or not.
Got it.
Okay. So that is a good reception. I will add marks here. If I think, no, this is not supposed to be spoken, I'm feeling uncomfortable that the speaker is speaking. I am feeling uncomfortable. I don't care about what others are feeling. I am feeling uncomfortable. I can demark that person.
Okay.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
Fine.
To add to it, Ishwaran, the contestants are not expected to not hurt anybody's sentiment.
Correct.
Let's be very clear. We can speak about even sex, politics, or religion. There are no taboo topics. There are no topics that are beyond the reach of a contestant.
Correct.
Okay.
So if somebody comes and speaks for a political party and you are very hurt, you as a judge, like Subhadeep said, if it does not resonate well with you, you can reduce the points there. But as a judge, you are supposed to come out of your bias and judge them. For example, I may be a very staunch supporter of female improvement. And somebody comes and speaks that female, they for example, put female down in their speeches. I'm supposed to keep my bias aside and judge them for their content. Okay, so let's be very clear. We are not expecting the contestants to draw a line and stay beyond that. And where is that line? That line may be somewhere here for you, somewhere here for me. Like Subhadeep said, do not think that this person has crossed the line. This is not fair. Rather, see how you feel about it, and you as a judge can mark them accordingly.
Okay.
That is precisely why we have a lot of judges, so that it comes to averaging. So one person may find it very right, one person may find it very wrong. It will average out end of the day. And beyond all this, as a judge, keep all your personal opinions, bias, your favorites and everything aside. Somebody can come and say that your favorite superstar is the worst actor. Don't get offended by that. Think what they are trying to make out of it. Is that relevant to the topic that they are saying? Is that relevant to the content? And then go about judging. That is the important part of judging as a judge. That is your important emotional question that you will touch upon and see how matured you are in handling. So
thanks.
This is what I would like to add.
Yes.
I think Viji and
thanks, Gayatri.
Thank you, Gayatri, for that.
Thanks,
Every time
Thanks,
Viji is unmuting or raising his hand, now I'm scared. Yes, Viji, go ahead. I'll come to you, Nathan. I'll come to you.
Completely. Putting your bias aside and doing the judging is one part of it. For all the first timers should be just below the parameters, there is the judging criteria, and each of the parameters are explained clearly. So if I am a chief judge and if I have first timers in my team, I would strongly advise them to go and take a read on that. Ishwar, to answer you, the effectiveness as defined in the explanation that's given right underneath the parameters says it's by large part your subjective judgment of how the speech came across to you, just as what Gayatri said. So this is going to be a cumulative average. However, each of us is going to have a very subjective perspective about it. The only thing here, the key here is to put aside the bias and do the judgment.
Okay.
So if you're a first timer, please take a look at each of the parameters explained very clearly right underneath this ballot.
Thank you, Viji, also for taking away the concluding part of my speech for the humorous speech judging criteria. Thank you so much. But I think Viji can be the only person who will sit exactly with those criteria and see that if Shubh is speaking the same thing or not. But thank you for that. Yes, Lakshmi, please go ahead.
No, my question is, we generally, before start of any Toastmasters meeting, we talk about the Sergeant Tom's mentions about not to use the taboo topics. So is it not a criteria of people to not use the taboo topics? So just in case if you use it, can you
yes, that is not. This is also, we had a discussion in the physical JTP. That is not a criteria that is followed anywhere in Toastmasters International. We in India have started this because we want to maintain it as a good environment in the Toastmasters club. But even in a contest, there is no criteria that says you cannot use any taboo topics. That is what Gayatri was also mentioning in details. There is nothing like that. You can disqualify somebody even for using taboo topics. It's completely up to you as a judge, how you receive it and how you treat it and how you want to mark that person based on that. So there is no criteria as such that you cannot use taboo topics. Okay.
Slightly.
Can I add a couple of cents here?
Just a second, sir. Slightly deviating from it, Lakshmi Narana, if your club members, okay, they might have created this in the beginning of the club chartering. But at this point, if majority of your club members feel that you should speak about these taboo topics, if you feel that this is the place where we want to see how we can handle that, you could do a voting among your club members and remove that also. This is not a TI's criteria. This is the club's chartering criteria where we feel, okay, with corporate clubs, especially, the decorum is better maintained if we stay away from these topics and focus on something else. But if your club members feel, no, we have to speak about it, and if majority of you agree, you can pass, you can use your, general body meeting where you pass a motion and then you can do this amendment also. So it is not something that is like a universal that you have to follow.
Okay, yes. So for club contest, it's a rule set by the club.
Yeah,
as per the chartering principles. Yeah.
See, club contest, it is not advised to set this rule. I'm speaking about club meeting itself.
Meetings.
Okay. In contest, there is no rule that you cannot speak on any topic. You can speak on any topic. Only thing, it has to be original. That is the only criteria that TI says.
In fact, before coming to Nathan, sir, in fact, that is the reason in a contest, we specifically tell the Sergeant-at-Arms not to say that as well.
Yeah.
That please do not use taboo topics. We tell the Sergeant-at-Arms not to say this rule on the day of the contest. Okay, Nathan sir, you have been trying to add something for a long time. Yes, please
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
just wanted to share my experience. I attended a Toastmasters district level conference in Muscat. Okay, and there was a humorous speech which was not in good taste, and there was a roaring laughter. Everyone enjoyed that speech. Okay, but there were few people who were raising eyebrows and they were making faces, and it was not in good taste. But unfortunately, it was not even in top 3. Possibly, in the perspective of judges, they did not like it. So that is a risk someone has to tread on. So if you are going to speak on certain topics, so you are taking that kind of a risk. That's what I thought. I just add some value.
True. And Nathan sir, the experience that you shared, this is the perfect example that even if there was roaring laughter from the audience, they cannot give more than 15 marks based on audience response. So other places marks would have got deducted, right? So that is why you would have seen that this person has not gone down the top 3 at all. So this is exactly what we are asking all of you to follow as well. Please understand the criteria. Don't go by an overall view of judging. Please get it, because Toastmaster, as rightly told by Aarti also at the beginning, and I'm sure any of the experienced Toastmasters you speak to, everybody will say the same thing. The criteria of Toastmasters has been put for a reason, to maintain some fairness according to a speech. So please maintain that. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, any other thoughts before we go into quickly seeing a speech and getting into the judging?
One question regarding giving an opportunity. See, imagine one participant is having a network issue quite often when they're delivering the speech. Is it okay to give another chance to the participant, or we should not do that?
Please hold on to this question. We'll come to this when we come in the contest management part. The management of this will discuss this thing separately. Please hold on to this question, Adi.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So with this, what we are going to do is, I will give you maybe all of you have anyone who has downloaded it already, downloaded the contest kit already and have it. Quick raise of hand. Viji, I know, has printout itself with her. So yeah. Okay, for those of you who have not, I'm giving you 2 minutes. Quickly open Toastmasters International website, log in the search bar, type humorous speech contest kit, download it, open the judges ballot from that. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this quickly. And if you say, I don't remember my TI login credentials, I'm going to report this to the trio, then we'll figure it out. Okay, let me stop sharing this as of now.
I have a quick question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So, as we mentioned that if there's no hard and fast rule on limiting the content for the contestant speech. So, does it still have to be like it should maintain? It should not be under sex, religion, or politics as our general guideline in Toastmasters.
You can say anything in the speech. There is no criteria on that. But again, understand what I think what Nathan sir was saying, that understand how the judges will treat. And those of you, while everybody is downloading the contest kit, those of you who are here for contesting and for understanding the criteria better, this is what exactly judges will mark you for. So when you are preparing your speech, try to understand how you are implementing all of these things and how judges may treat that speech of yours. I know this will be covered later properly when we are doing the contest training, but just a tip as of now.
Okay, this criteria is only meant for our general.
For your general
not for
meetings,
contest?
yes. General meetings, not for your contest.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Shakti, you had raised your hand. Was that a question?
No, Shobhit, you just asked raise hand. I have
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Okay, everyone has it?
Shubhit,
Yes.
if you want to share it in the chat, by chance, if people are finding it difficult to
Okay, let me do that. Can I paste files as well directly?
Yeah. All right. Let me do that. Let me share. You want a humorous speech ballot, right?
Humorous speech ballot, yeah. Okay, I think Lakshmi Narayana had already put the link as well, but yeah, Gayatri, if you can put the file also would be great. Somebody was saying something in between. Sorry, I missed that.
Good morning, Ganesh here.
Good morning, Ganesh sir. Yes, tell me.
This regarding this taboo topics. Why these double standards between the club and the contest? Why don't we take it up with the TMI?
So TMI does not have any rule at all. That's what we were discussing right now. TMI does not have this rule. This is something we follow in India. There is nothing hard and fast that you have to follow this even at your club level.
The point is, if somebody wants to propagate this idea about sex, religion, and politics, irrespective of whether he is selected or not, whether he's won the contest or not, he has already made his point to the public.
So
we should nip it the bud. So we should nip in the bud, isn't it?
I know where it is coming from. We have had this discussion in details with some of our senior Toastmasters as well in the past. For the interest of time, I'm not going to get into the details now. Maybe we can take this up discussion separately with the trio as well. And if we want, we can take this up with TMI.
The rule should be uniform across any format.
Just to make it very clear, there is no such rule. So it is not that we are allowing.
No, I think so. So just to I'll try to neutralize it here. So Gayatri, I think what Ganesh sir is saying that we can bring this up with TI to make it as a rule at TI level as well. But why it cannot be done at an international level, we had this discussion and we have the justification from TI. Maybe we can discuss this after the JTP and I'll tell you why TI won't make this as a rule.
Yeah, that I think we have to take it offline. I don't think
that we can take it offline. We had this discussion earlier. Yes.
Offline, it should be a level, it should be a playing field. Thank you very much.
Yes, sure. Okay, so to cut the discussion and bring it back to our contest, as of now, we have to follow what our rules are as of now. So what I'm going to do is, I am guessing everyone now has the contest ballot.
It's available on the chat also.
Okay, it's available on the chat also. Thank you, Gayatri, for that. Please download that. And I'm going to show you because this is online in a physical contest, we would love to do it in a proper contest format. But because this is online, what we are going to do is we are going to show you a speech and try to see from the speech and mark it according to the criteria. This is to just give you the practice of judging. Okay, so I'm going to put up an online speech itself. This is the video of a speech that we are going to play now. Let me see, where did I keep it? Okay. How do I put share sound as well? Okay. I hope the video is visible to everyone. I'm just going to play it for a second, see if the audio is audible also. Okay.
Secret? Yeah. It's audible, Shubhati.
Audible?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to play it again from the beginning. Again, treat it as a contest speech and treat it as all of you are judging the speech. I'm going to go on mute and then I'm going to play this video.
Secrets of an Indian woman, Pradna Vernakar. What is in a name? Ponders Shakespeare. He probably should have asked this question to me, whose name has been brutally slandered, butchered, and converted into hilarious forms at all social gatherings. Pradnya is a Sanskrit word and it means wisdom. But I have known only few people in my life who can pronounce my name perfectly. Otherwise, I have had short names like Paddy, as if I was some rice crop in some rice field ready to be harvested. Then there was Prandy, which I am very sure was the name given to me when all of us had a little too much to drink. Then there was Prada, and it made me feel evil, like Meryl Streep from the movie Devil Wears Prada. So here comes my first secret. I am this close to strangling the next person who mispronounces my name. So beware. Seriously, how difficult is it to pronounce Pradanya? The battles with my name pronunciation were not enough that God decided to throw more problems at me as I was growing up. Everybody has problems. Some people struggle with exercise, some people struggle with smoking, and some people struggle with their mother-in-laws. But my problem has been graver. I have weighed only 99 pounds throughout my adulthood. I ate cheese, I ate butter, I ate cake, I ate ice cream, I ate meat, I ate eggs. I ate, and I ate. And yet, the scale on my weighing machine refused to budge beyond 99. I was so thin that my mother worried that no one is going to marry me. But little did she know that I had already chosen a perfectly thin guy for myself. I thought at least that would reduce my mother's tensions. But hey, you know mothers. She now worries that our kids are going to be thin. With all this background, I think you might have guessed what is my second secret. Yes, due to my super thin frame, I still buy clothes in the junior section. With these relatively two smaller secrets, here comes the third one. Trust me, it is a big one and the most embarrassing one too. I cannot believe I am just letting out all of my secrets here today in front of you all. Hold your breath, here is the third secret. I have not driven a car all alone in the US, even though it has been 2 years for me now in the US. Yes, go on, please laugh at me. You ask me why? Do I really have to defend myself over here? Firstly, the biggest felony any wife can commit is learning to drive from her husband. My first driving lesson was something like this. I sat in the car, I put on the ignition, I put my foot on the accelerator, and I was just about to gain some speed when someone screamed in my ear, "Slow down! There is a duck ahead!" More than the thought of hitting the duck, the yelling scared the hell out of me. That, ladies and gentlemen, was my first driving lesson. Do I have to say anything more? Somehow, I managed to get used to the yelling and started driving on the roads, of course, with the yelling husband beside me. Then one fine day, I was pulled over by a cop. It is a very tense moment for me and my husband, as we are not natives of this country, and being pulled over by a government official can be scary. The officer came to my window and said, "Ma'am, may I have your driving license and insurance papers, please?" With shaking hands and being nervous, I handed over the documents to him. He screened through my documents very seriously and with a grim face said, "Ma'am, I'm giving you a speeding ticket." I could not believe myself that I was getting a speeding ticket. Very politely, I tried to explain it to the officer. "But sir, I'm very sure I was not speeding and I was well within the 75 miles per hour speed limit." The officer with a very grim face looked at me and said, "Sure, ma'am, you were driving at a speed of 31 miles per hour, which I'm very sorry to say is too slow for a freeway." This episode happened 1 year before, and the stories about my slow driving are still narrated back in my hometown, 7 seas across. I am famous down there, you see. I am embarrassed to drive in the US, where even elderly women go zoom past me. And I drive as if I am not operating some automatic machine, but instead pulling some heavy cart manually with my hands. But hey, here is the good news. I think I have figured out how to get rid of my driving fear. I think I should just get rid of my yelling husband. Oops, did I just say get rid of my yelling husband? No, I meant I should get rid of the yelling of my husband. I hope you got the cue. As I end my secrets over here, here is a small request to all of you. Please do not honk if you're behind a car driven by an Indian lady. Please just change your lane and let the Indian lady be on her own. Because today you now know what all that Indian lady has gone through to be there on the road driving her own car. Madam Continue.
Okay, so here's my question. Have you marked? Okay, let's give 1 minute silence for you to finalize your marking as well. Okay, time up. Okay, how many of you actually marked? Okay, good. Okay, anyone wants to share how you have marked? Just on an overview, maybe. Just so that we know from each other's experience as well. Yes, you can unmute and speak.
Shall I share?
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Give me access.
You may not give the details of it, just an overview that this is what your thought process was and how you did it.
Maybe I'll read out. I can't share. I'll read out.
Sure.
So for the speech development, the structure, organizations, and the support material, whatever she mentioned, right? So I'm giving her 12 out of 15.
Okay.
For the effectiveness, the achievement of purpose, the interest, and the reception altogether, I'm giving her 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And the speech value, the logic, and the original thought, I felt it's quite original. So I'm giving her 14 out of 15.
Okay.
And the audience response was tremendous. So including even I got a lot of laughter as well. So the attentiveness, laughter, and interest reception, I'm giving her 14 out of 15.
Okay.
For the physical appearance, the body language and the speaking area, the way she covered the area, body language. So I'm giving her 10 out of 10.
Okay.
So for the volume and flexibility, I'm giving her 8 out of 10. And the manner, the assurance, enthusiasm, and all, I'm giving her 9 out of 10.
Okay.
And the appropriateness, the speech purpose, and the audience, I'm giving her 8 out of 10. And the correctness, the grammar, pronunciation, and the word selection, I'm giving her 5 out of 5.
Okay. Okay.
So that's it. I need to sum it up.
Perfect. Yeah, that's okay. That's perfect. Anyone has a difference, like somewhere they have given us lesser marks, or you felt no, it was not great, so maybe I have deducted a few marks?
I have deducted.
Yeah.
But pretty much it is close to what Lakshmi talked about now. It is not too wavered, but yeah, there is always plus or minus 1, 2 here and there.
Okay.
My total, for example, came to 76. Now, if you total of Lakshmi, probably it will be 84.
That's okay.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine.
Pretty much, I didn't give 100% for anything though. I wanted to still see how others do. That's what I will always want to do.
Okay.
I didn't want to jump the gun from the beginning, but this is how I have done.
Okay, so that's your mindset, that I want to see what if somebody is better as well. I want to reserve that. That's perfectly your perspective. Nothing wrong in that. Yes. Anyone? Dinesh, you have raised your hand.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now.
Okay. Thank you. what was my thought process was speech development. She did well. So I would be marking it as good because it is between something like 14 I will give. Effectiveness, it was effective because people were laughing as well as they were enjoying it. And she made it to a conclusion, which was very, very, very twisting one.
Okay.
So that was also effective. So there also I would give 9. Speech value is not that much, so I may restrict it to up to 10 only.
So you did not find a big value in that, so you restricted it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
And audience response was very good. They applauded many times, but that can be also from lobbying also.
Correct.
So you don't have to think much about that. You can simply give something like 11 or 12. Physical, she was good, well presented, and body language was also good. Speaking area, she was well controlling the space.
Okay.
So there we can give 13. Physical appearance, body language, etc. This also we can give a good mark like 8 or 9. Voice was not bad, so it can be 7. Manner, directness, assurance, enthusiasm, etc. was showing good, so it also can be 8. Appropriateness to speech purpose and audience, that is a bit down, so I would prefer there only 7.
For
And
you, it was not appropriate according to the audience, so you have put 7. Perfect.
Yeah. So correctness, grammar, pronunciation was not that great, but not bad also. So it can be something like 4.
Perfect. Okay. So here's one more thing, and a very good point brought up by Dinesh as well. It can be lobbying as well. I have put my friends to laugh out loud, and any of the old Toastmasters who are here are all laughing. Look at Partha and Viji's face. They know how this used to happen.
How Subhadeep used to plant people.
Yeah, we didn't hear you, Partha.
Okay, I'll leave it to that. It's a taboo topic. Okay.
That's why I used to do one thing as a judge. I used to observe whether the laughter is coming from any specific section of the crowd.
Correct. Exactly.
Of course,
yes.
Still, it can be fixed. You can spread your friends everywhere.
Yes.
But if it is coming from a specific section of the crowd and if it's not from throughout, then you can see that this may be fixed.
Correct. So this is the very reason why we are saying now that hybrid contests will also happen. Please do not take the actual audience's response into consideration. I know it's very difficult humanly to cut yourself out of that or something like that, but that is where you will be able to maintain fairness. Because if an online contestant is there, they will not be able to do that. They may not be able to do that. Whereas a contestant who is physically present may be planting all of the people over there and saying that, hey, laugh, okay, they will give them a script also and say that these are the points where you can laugh. So all of these things might happen. So treat it as how you are laughing. So this is whether it is making you laugh, how you are responding to it. So that is one very, very important thing. Please keep in mind. Okay.
But if I may add one other point.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I did feel that the audience did enjoy the speech. So that was the audience response was okay. But I did feel that whenever the body language was concerned, at times the speaker was not engaging with the audience or not maintaining the eye contact. They were looking, she was walking in front. So I did have some reservations on the body language portion. And appropriateness, it was, again, there were instances, I would say, where she had generalized comments, like, for example, senior old women or rather senior women who drive fast. So that was again a generalization. And in an audience, in the generic audience, I do not know the audience anyway, but in the generic audience, assuming it was an equally spread, unbiased audience, it could have, those types of things wouldn't go very well with an audience.
Correct. See, this is an example of an experienced judging. right? With the examples itself, I will be able to place which example fits in which criteria and how I need to, up mark or down the mark over there. And this is exactly what I experienced. Thank you, Partha, for sharing that very insightful thing. But at the end of the day, like what we are saying is, see, Partha found that the body language was not appropriate. Somebody else might find it is appropriate. I might break it down to actually eye contact and all of that. And again, all of these things, if it is in a hybrid contest, please understand how the mode of the contest is and whether it is appropriate also to the mode of the contest, right? So all of these things, please keep those in mind and treat it from your perspective. Vijay, you have raised your hand for a long time. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Shruti. This laughing part of it, the audience response is always a bit tricky. So back then, when we used to have physical contests, I have seen contestants who have planted their club members, not in one section because they'll get caught. So they actually spread them equally across the hall to make it look like, they got a roar of laughter. The best way to judge, if I'm a voting judge, what I have done in the past would be, if this humor is an induced humor or if it's coming naturally to me. Many a times in a humorous speech, we laugh just because the person next to me is laughing or because the whole room is like applauding. Am I responding to that or am I genuinely laughing or reacting to the humor part of it? I think the scores will vary there in the humor part. If we can just think it for a moment, what really made you laugh will make the difference. So with regards to scoring, I've given Pragya on a good range. There is very good excellence. She scored mostly in the good range. And she scored a bit low when it comes to physical and words.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vijay, for adding that as well. In fact, sometimes what happens, especially in humor, something might be humorous to me, may not be humorous to others, right? And this is something what happens to me most of the time because I don't understand some of the local context, right? I most of the time don't get these local jokes. I may not mark them more. Right? So that's up to me. There are other judges who are marking them for those local context jokes. I did not understand it. I will not mark it. For something which is very, very universal, I may know the context. I may relate to it. So I will mark them. Somebody else may not relate, may not mark it. So that is where your individuality as a judge comes. And as Gayatri was mentioning, that is why we have so many judges. It's not just one judge and putting the marks to that as well. Okay. Any other comments before I put one more aspect?
To mention
yes,
that, maybe in a corporate club, so if a senior manager is speaking, then obviously people will tend to laugh more for him too.
Correct.
You need not plant someone.
Correct. Anyways, employees will laugh to the managers. True.
Especially appraisals are around the corner.
With the appraisal around the corner, exactly. Yes, Janani, you had a question as well.
Yes, sir. Actually, my query here is, do we need to give much importance to take away or the humor? As it is a humorous contest, do we need to give more values to humor or take away? As before some time, Dinesh told, right? He didn't feel anything as a takeaway. So I felt this, do we need to give more importance to which one?
So if you actually look at the
ballot
criteria, right? The ballot sheet. There is under effectiveness, there is a criteria called effectiveness of purpose. So effectiveness of purpose does not mean whether I have a value takeaway for me, whether it teaches me something. In humorous speech, effectiveness of purpose means whatever my speech was. Here, if I'm just telling from my perspective, and there are a lot of other people, please correct me if I'm wrong as well. So for this, the purpose of this lady was to establish how they should not mess with an Indian lady, something on that lines, right? If across the speech that is established, that itself is an effectiveness of purpose to me. I'm not talking for anybody else. That's an effectiveness of purpose to me. Ideally, again, this is a suggestion. In a humorous speech contest, please do not look for a message, what we do in an ISC contest. Okay. In a humorous speech contest, your focus should be on the humor part. Again, if you have for new people who have not been through the old system, if you can get hold of the competent communication manual, please do it. in speech number 3, if I'm not wrong, there is clear definition of generic purpose and specific purpose. ISC generic purpose is to motivate or to inspire your audience, which should be done in an ISC. Humorous, the generic purpose is to entertain your audience. So generic purpose, if it is entertaining enough, the purpose is solved, then comes a specific purpose, which is actually what they're talking about. Just to expand that a little bit, again, this is a suggestion, what we are talking about, not a hard and fast rule.
And now we are getting in level 1 itself, get to the point.
Correct. That also it describes that part. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Shivati,
I hope I answered that.
Yes. I mean, even for ISC, it has no specificities on what should be the.
Correct. No, I'm saying that's why I said it's a suggestion that we overall look for ideally. Just on an overview. You said,
look at the ballot and look at the ballot criteria.
Look at the ballot.
Accordingly, you mark them.
Correct. At the end of the day, as Vijay also mentioned, criterias, and those are already explained there. Please look at that and mark how it translates to you.
Correct.
That's
and
where
also,
your
it should not be a series of one-liner or jokes. Like it shouldn't be a stand-up comedy. So normally, stand-up comedy can generate more laughter, but there is no one line. There's no theme for the speech. So that will also be an area where.
That is where you have that structure as well. It shouldn't be just one-liners without any transition, without any tie-up to that as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we take
a thing, sorry. One thing is normally with all the humorous speech contests, the person who is speaking and the third or fourth speaker, by the time the audiences are already a little bit light. So there's always a disadvantage for the first speaker because audience are still in a very, what would I say, very serious mood after the contest master read out the rules and all. So they would not be in a mood to laugh. So it takes some time. So it's as a judge, you will have to keep that also in mind. It's just not because of people getting loosened up at the third or fourth and the first speaker, as and when you hear a speech, feel what is your feeling? Are you getting the feel of humor and accordingly rate it, not just because of the position of the speech. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yes, thank you, Partha, for that. Hari, you had a question?
Yes, I have a question. So, as a judge, can I judge based on a moral of a story? If apart from the effectiveness, what we see in a humorous is mainly humor. That's what you said. But apart from that, if a contestant is quoting a moral of a story and that is there established, can I give extra marks for that, or I should not consider that? What is the criteria?
Simply look at this. Is there a criteria in the ballot which lets you give extra mark for that? If there is no, you cannot go by the criteria. That's why I'm repeatedly saying from the beginning, don't go by your overall thought. Mark according to the criteria. Okay, this is for everyone, right? If that is something which is relevant to the speech, which falls under any of the criteria where I can give extra marks, you can. That's again up to you. Okay, but again, I cannot say that I did not laugh at all during the speech, but I just gave marks for this part as well. It's up to you how you take that humor. Okay, Dinesh has a question. I'm going to take this question and then we are going for a break. After that, once we come back, we'll discuss further. Dinesh, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, now you're audible.
Yeah. My query is, one is, we should not have any message. We need not have any message. That I agree. But there should not be any negative messages or anything which harms the trusted values, etc.
Correct. So I think I'll just refer back to what Partha was also saying. So for example, when Partha talked about that, Partha said, give that specific example, right? That when an old lady also passed by. For Partha, it was a negative messaging for him. So he has downmarked for that. Again, it's up to you. We are discussing these criteria as a guidance, not as a specific hard and fast rule. Please understand this. We are saying only thing which we want you to follow is go by the each and every criteria and mark according to that. Don't go by an overall view of the speech itself. What is approved, whether it actually relates to you, whether you are able to, if it is negative for you, you can demark the person. If it is positive for you, you give them extra marks. That's perfectly fine. Nobody is stopping you from doing that.
Another thing is there was a comment that Partha said that first speaker will have a tough time. Actually, first speaker will have an opportunity. You know, when he makes an impact, that impact stays. He or she makes an impact. That impact stays forever.
Okay, the idea why Partha is saying that, and we have experienced this in a physical contest, it becomes harder usually. Again, I'm not generalizing and I'm not specifying to any particular person. It usually becomes harder for the first person to loosen up the audience. Once the first person has loosened up the audience, the second and the third contestant will have an easier job to get laughter out of those people. That's why as judges, we are continuously repeating and saying that don't just go by what the actual audiences are laughing or not. Go by how it affects you. Whether you feel it is funny, you mark. You feel it is not funny, don't mark. That's all.
Since my name starts with D, can I ask that whether we go by alphabetical order?
No, we'll come to the contest management part. We never go by alphabetical order. We never go by this thing. We'll come to contest management part for all the people who are doing it for the first time. One last thing I'm going to mention over here before we take a quick break.
Shubdev, one point.
Yes.
Shubdev, I'm a brand ambassador for Toastmasters. I can say I'm a visiting faculty. Wherever I go, I used to canvass for students to join Toastmasters to reap the benefits of the Toastmasters for their leadership journey. They talk about planting people for laughter. It's really disheartening, and it is going to be a question of integrity to all of us. I think we need to keep it in mind. The message can spread to everyone. True. That it defies the logic of our integrity.
We are talking about what we have seen that has happened. We are definitely not encouraging. That is why we are telling judges to make sure that even if this is being followed, don't fall trap for that. We are trying to put that integrity itself. That is the whole purpose of what we are talking. Now, one thing which I want to quickly mention over here, I know this discussion can go on for long. In the best interest of time, I'll cut off this discussion as of now. We will continue this later as well. One thing just I want to mention, if you are a judge present physically in the venue, please do not do this. Please don't do like that. People will find out who the judges are. Judges are supposed to be secret. Blend in with the audience, and don't do this that if you're a judge, you are not supposed to laugh at the jokes. You're not supposed to laugh at when the humor comes. Please do that. Mark accordingly. Okay. Again, I want to specify this to everyone once again on this. The judging criteria we are discussing, not to impose it that you have to do this. We're just trying to make sure we follow what TI has set the standards according to each of the criteria. Okay. We'll stop the discussion as of now. It's 10:40. What we are going to do is we're going to take a 10 minutes break. Okay. Don't disconnect from the session. 10:40 exactly. We are going to come back at 10:50. Take a quick bio break, grab some tea, coffee if you want. You can bring it and have the tea, coffee during the meeting as well. And we are quickly going to get into the discussion of the evaluation contest. Okay. We'll go on mute and see you in 10 minutes. Okay, I see some of us are already back. Others, are we back? I see Janani, Ishwaran, Gayatri. Others? Okay, Pravakaran, Jaykant, Shakti. Nice. Dinesh also is back. Kalpana. Okay, I think all of us are back. See, this is the good part of an online meeting. People don't extend the break. This is the only good part about an online meeting. People come back on time. Otherwise, in a physical meeting, you say 10 minutes, nobody will be back before 20 minutes. Right? In fact, people who have organized in-person meetings in the past, you will know, we will write 10 minutes in the agenda, right? But person who is creating the agenda will know before 20 minutes people won't be back, so we'll keep a 10 minutes buffer over there and work. Okay, so I think we had a great discussion about the humorous speech judging criteria. Again, please understand the criterias are up to you to interpret how you want to judge that, but go by what the criterias are, right? So with that same thought in mind, what we are going to do is we are going to quickly look at the judging criteria for the evaluation contest as well. Okay, again, just to give a quick overview, I think we had enough discussion about how this works, but just to give you an understanding how it works in an evaluation contest. Now, in an evaluation contest, this is what your evaluation contest ballot looks like, right? So here, your four main criteria are your analytical quality, the recommendations the person give, the technique the person is using, and the summation of the evaluation itself. Remember, you are judging the evaluators. For those of us who are judging, who are doing the judging or are seeing the contest itself for the first time, what happens is in an evaluation contest, there will be one speaker. We refer to them as the test speaker. There will be one speech that will be given. This can be any speech. As evaluator or as judges, you don't need to bother about what kind of a speech that person is giving. It can be any speech. All the contestants in that evaluation contest will evaluate the same speech, right? So let's say there are 10 contestants. All the 10 contestants will be moved to a breakout room. One by one, each of the evaluators will come in and they will deliver their evaluation on the same speech. As judges, you will be judging how good their evaluations were based on that speech. Okay. So to quickly go to the criteria itself, first is analytical quality. What do you mean by analytical quality? Excuse me. What is meant by analytical quality? Anyone?
Yes, the subject is very clear. The topic chosen, there is no ambiguity in that.
Okay. Anything else?
So the points are presented in a very clear and direct manner without dragging them on too much, while also explaining them very clearly.
To the point, it should be clear, it should be explained, but at the same time, not drag too much. Okay. Anything else?
Think and speak accordingly. That is grasping and provide a proper points.
Perfect. Providing the right points and thinking on the right note. Yes. Anything else?
The speech is organized in such a way that the introduction, body, and conclusion are aligned.
Which speech?
Focus.
Which speech?
The speech the evaluation. The evaluation is introduction and body of the evaluation and conclusion are aligned. Okay.
Yes. So please be mindful as judges, you are not judging the speech. Okay. It doesn't matter what the speech is. Speech is good, bad, whatever your understanding of the speech is, keep it reserved to you. You have to understand how the evaluator is dissecting the speech. So here you are, and understand this, the structure of the evaluation, meaning whether that person has a proper introduction, body, and conclusion, that part is not under analytical quality. Analytical quality is how am I as an evaluator able to dissect the speech? Am I able to have the right understanding of the speech? How I am interpreting the speech and the evaluation over there? That is my analytical quality. Am I clearly expressing that? Okay. Next comes your recommendation. Now, here is something which I specifically want to mention. In a club contest, in a club, sorry, not a contest, in a club regular speech, in a club meeting, even let's say for, I'm sure many of you would have seen this, let's say for an icebreaker speech, an evaluator might come and say that, hey, you have done a great job. This was good. That was good. I have nothing to recommend. All the best for your next speech. Everything was perfect, right? Even if it is a perfect speech, according to the evaluator must give some recommendation in an evaluation contest. Okay. An evaluator cannot come and say that there is no recommendation. If that person says, I don't have any recommendation, that means this goes 0. Okay. There is 30 marks on recommendation. So you have to give some recommendation. That recommendation, and the recommendation has to be positive, has to be specific and helpful to the speaker. Just for the sake of it, I cannot give recommendation. I have to make it meaningful in perspective to the speech. Okay. So a recommendation cannot, ideally speaking, again, guidance, specifying it very, very carefully. I cannot go ahead and say that I think you shouldn't have delivered this speech. You should have given some other speech. That is not a good recommendation. Okay. So it has to be positive and helpful to the speaker. And I have to be specific also that this is exactly why I'm recommending what I'm recommending. Something on that lines. Okay. Coming to the technique, this is where whether you have used a proper starting, a proper body of your evaluation itself. Is your evaluation also a speech? Basic thing, first and foremost, because at the end of the day, the evaluation is also a speech, right? And there can be, there are a lot of people who uses these acronyms. Some people may use some technique. I'll use 5 C's to tell you what your commendation recommended. There are a lot of things on this. Again, understand the appropriateness of it. Is it force-fitted, or is it someone who is doing it genuinely? Some people might have templates as well. There is nothing wrong in using templates, but is the template fitted properly according to the evaluation that person is giving, right? Or is that person saying something just for the sake of saying something? Have that common sense as a judge, right? And finally, summation. This is also very, very important. An evaluator has to give a summary of the evaluation, not the speech. If the person says, so to summarize, you said this, and I think it was a great speech. What the evaluator is doing is, evaluator is summarizing the speech. That is not a proper summation. Okay. The evaluator has to summarize his or her own evaluation, meaning they have to say that, so you are already good at these things, which were my commendations, something on that line. And my recommendations were this, and this is what you need to do. Something, just I'm giving an overview. Again, this is not a hard and fast rule. Okay. It has to be summarized. Again, in club meetings, you would see that they will talk about commendation. They will talk about recommendation, and they will simply say, oh, so thank you so much for delivering that speech. All the best for your next speech. This is also not a proper summary. Okay. Are we able to make sense? Again, I'm going to quickly go back to this. Remember the criteria and the division of marks. If a person does not give a recommendation, you can cut only 30 marks, not more than that. If a person does not give a proper summary, you can cut only 15 marks, not more than that. Just for example, I'm saying. Again, if that person has great recommendations, you cannot give more than 30 marks. Right? Same way, if that person has great analytical skills, you cannot give more than 40 marks. So understand the division and how much percentage of the mark is allocated for each of the divisions. Okay, I'll take a quick pause. Any questions, any thoughts on these criteria?
Subhadeep, I have a doubt. As a judge, we should not focus on the speech you mentioned and just focus on the evaluation, right?
There are people who will kill me if I say yes to this. I never said do not focus on the speech.
Okay.
Please understand this. Okay. As a judge, you have to focus on the speech. Otherwise, you will not know whether the evaluation is right evaluation or not.
Yeah, that's what my doubt. So if speaker is not utilizing gestures, but evaluator is mentioning gestures is good, so that will be a problem, right?
Very good, Naga. Very good point brought out. Yes. One of the most important thing, and this would have been my next comment as well. Thank you for bringing this up. As I am saying, as judges, you are not supposed to judge the speech. My recommendation would be, if you're judging in an evaluation contest, listen to the test speech very, very carefully. Maybe have your own set of evaluation as well, which will help you to draw a reference, right? Have a quick note of your evaluation, then see whether all of these things that the person is saying, whether the analytical quality, what the person is analyzing, is at all relevant to the speech. Like you said, maybe that person didn't use any gestures at all, but the evaluator is coming and saying, great gestures that help me to picturize the speech so well, which means it is not at all a relevant commendation itself. Okay, so you definitely as judge have the, if you think it is not relevant, you can demark the person. Okay, thank you, Naga, for bringing that up. Anything else?
So is it like the judge himself or herself has to be a good evaluator to judge the evaluator?
Not good evaluator, but you have to have some sense of evaluation. Yes, ideally speaking. Yes, definitely, Kalpana. Okay, any other thoughts?
Subdeep, I have one question. So when it's going to be a virtual meeting, I need some sort of video call, right? So I cannot ask everyone to come on a video call so that I'll be able to judge what their hand gestures, eye movements, and all, right? If in case there are
so much of for the contestants, are you asking for the contestants?
No, I'm talking about the evaluation part.
Yes.
If it is a virtual thing, how do I evaluate? Because I cannot ask everyone to come on a video mode, right?
Sorry, I'm not getting. So Hari, you are saying, let's say, so let me understand this correctly. So you are saying you are a judge and you are judging the evaluators. That's what you're saying?
Correct.
So contestants have to be on video. There is no choice about it.
Okay.
If it's an online contest, contestants have to be on video. They cannot give an evaluation of without being on camera.
Okay.
But having said this, please understand this. In the criteria itself, there is no mark for body language of the evaluator. So it doesn't, even if I sit straight like this without any expression and I give an awesome evaluation, I'm supposed to get 100 on 100. Okay. But somebody who is giving great body language and speaking from a great body language perspective, utilizing the stage properly, they don't get any marks, extra marks for that. There is no criteria for that. Having said this, there are people who would segregate their evaluation in different sections. They might use that body language to show that segregation. That comes under technique. That is different. But I don't get extra marks for body language, or I don't get deducted marks for body language. How am I using that technique is different. Okay.
Yes, so interfere. I think that we have people who are probably not familiar with evaluation contest as such. Can you probably take them through how it actually happens? And then maybe we'll take further questions.
Correct. We'll do that. We'll do that in a little while. We'll have a quick evaluation. We'll have a speech. We'll have evaluators for which I'll quickly ask for volunteers as well. Give me a minute. I'll just take Nathan and Ishwaran's question and then I'll come back to doing this. Nathan, sir, please go ahead.
No, I just want to add, Toastmaster Naga said about the gestures and all we were discussing a bit. Sometimes, at times what happens, you have not observed the speaker's certain certain points. Okay, whereas the evaluator has brought it to your attention. So you can also, if you find it appropriate, you can always add value to that.
Definitely, definitely. And you only said it, if you find it appropriate, definitely yes. There is nothing wrong in it. True. Ishwar, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have one question, Shubdev. Where does the evaluator's language, communication skills come here? Grammar, etc. come here? I'm sure they also play a part, right? In the overall schema.
So
where do they fit in?
Yeah, so if you look at it in the analytical quality itself, it says whether it is clear or focused. If the communication is so bad that you're not able to make it out itself, that's where you can deduct marks. But again, it's not about whether I am using you. So it falls under two things. And Vijay being an evaluation champion, I would ask you to add to this. So there are two things that can come in. If it is a great language which I'm using to describe my evaluation, that can fall under technique. Okay. What am I explaining? My communication skill, what I'm trying to say, if it is clear and focused, it falls under analytical skill. If my sentence structuring is as bad, I'm not able to even understand what I'm trying to analyze. So I'll cut marks under analytical skills. If I'm using words or technical terms which are not even appropriate to the speech, I'll cut marks under technique itself. Something like that. Okay.
Okay. Here, one thing I see as a point here, and this can happen in any contest. Somebody may closely follow, one evaluator may closely one judge may closely follow the evaluator's language nuances and pick, while somebody else may not. In that case, there may always be a deviation there, right?
Correct.
So I was thinking from those angles, is there a proper section in which it is done? It can be done. That's where I was coming with that question.
I'll let Vijay answer this, and then we'll go to the evaluation contest itself before we take further question. Vijay, please go ahead.
The quick trick here is, Ishwar, we are not evaluating the evaluator here. We are evaluating how the evaluator will help the speaker. So it's absolutely okay if the evaluator's language gestures are not very good or not excellent or par excellence. We are only looking at how well this evaluator can demonstrate some recommendation to the speaker that is practical and helpful for the speaker. So when it comes to evaluation contest per se, we will not be evaluating the evaluation contestants on the gestures, their language, rather on how they have recommended to the speaker. Was it confusing? Did I make sense?
Yes, Vijay. No, it did make sense. It did. Thanks.
Okay, so what we are going to do is, let's hold on to some of the questions, as Gayatri mentioned, that because some of us are not aware about the evaluation contest proceeding, also there might be a lot of confusion in the head. So let's quickly go ahead and do a quick demo of what the evaluation contest is going to be. For this, I need two volunteers who are, I would preferably say, who are experienced Toastmasters, who need not do the judging as such, but can be evaluators for this. I need two volunteers.
I can volunteer myself. I'm Hariharan from Shell.
So Hari, you will not be doing the judging. Please, but I would please request Hari, reserve yourself for the judging. You will get the understanding of how the judging works. Okay. Can I ask? Wait, let me see if I can pick someone. Vijay, is it okay if you do a
video? The criteria they have to be on video.
Criteria is they have to be on video as well. Yes, the evaluators also have to be on video. Correct. Vijay, can you do one evaluation? This is your punishment for asking too many questions to me as well. Yeah.
My God, I could be the next scapegoat then after Vijay.
Okay. So Vijay and Ishwaran will be the two evaluators. Okay.
I said I could be the next scapegoat for asking too many questions. I didn't know I was already.
You volunteered to become the scapegoat, Ishwaran. Acha, but Ishwaran, have you been a judge before?
I have been a judge before.
Okay, that works then. So what we are going to do is, so this is how it is going to happen. Okay. So in an evaluation contest, like I said, there will be a test speech. as of now, for today, we are trying to do this demo. We'll have two contestants. One is DTM Viji. One is our area director Ishwaran, but we will look at how the announcement also goes and all of this. So what will happen is I will show a speech, and this is an online speech. I'm going to show a speech. After the speech finishes, there will be 5 minutes gap, 5 minutes silence that will be given for the evaluators to write down their evaluation. Then they will be called up one by one to give their evaluation. All of you else, all the other participants, you are judges. Okay. So your recommendation to you is listen to the test speech, have an evaluation of yourself as well. Then when the evaluators come and give their evaluation, you will be judging their evaluation, whether it is appropriate to the speech or not. Clear? Everyone else clear on what we are supposed to do? Okay, perfect. So let me stop sharing the screen here. Let me share the screen. Give me 1 minute.
Janani, will you be taking care of timing? Timer?
Yes, ma'am. I can.
For the contestants, I mean, I think Shubhadeep may need a timer's help when you
yes,
call
yes.
for 5 minutes. He will call us. Take care.
Okay, just can you confirm if you're able to?
Yeah, it's audible and visible.
Okay, perfect. So we'll go on mute and let's listen to the test speech first.
I'm pretty sure all of you must be in that waiting list where you're planning to visit the platform in the future. Can you look there? Oh my God, who kept it there? Okay, I'm just kidding, I kept it. I'm talking about the platform where you can laugh shamelessly. Your wait is over because I'm from the future. Though I don't really look like it. Contest chair and my dear ancestors, for the next 7 minutes of your life, I want you to laugh. Come on, laugh loudly, practice. Laugh weirdly. Hee! Hoo! Ha! Ha ha ha! Because in 2085, people earn money while laughing more. So don't lose this opportunity to earn the money. You know, my time traveling was really
Sir, sorry to interrupt. I think it's difficult to hear. I think it has to be even more louder.
Yeah, voice is very low. Even with full volume, the voice is very low, Shubhi.
my Ola cab took 2 hours to travel from
Can you please increase the volume?
traffic.
Sorry for pausing this. The reason I specifically chose this is, what if this exactly happens in the speech? What if the person's volume is low? What are you going to do? You cannot interfere. Please understand this. And this is exactly what is going to happen in a hybrid contest as well. You don't know what if the test speaker is present in person and you are an online contestant, right? You cannot interfere in between, say that I cannot hear the speaker, so increase the volume. Yes, whatever you're hearing, go ahead and evaluate that. We'll look into this. I know it's a little bit tough. Go ahead and do this. Trust me. Okay. Yes, this is how bad I am. People who have worked with me before knows this. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to start the video again. Evaluators, I hope that was not too big a distraction.
That's okay, Shubdeep. Go ahead, please.
Many things changed from 2018, from 2018.
Sarvesh, sound kami panne.
I'm going to talk about the shockest change happened in 2017. Indian marriage law has made an amendment of AIME rule for all the men in the country. AIME stands for All India Marriage Examination. All the Indian men who wish to give this exam, they have to give it. There is no other option because it's a mandatory exam to get married in the country. After you pass this exam, you get a certificate of PMM, Perfect Marriage Material. But let me tell you, this is the most toughest exam on the earth. Very, very tough. You know, they have questions like very difficult cookery management, house management, how to raise your kid as a father, women, rules and regulations. Can you imagine that? One of the topmost institute who give a coaching classes for AIME runs by Salman Khan. Let me tell you, in 2070, he is still unmarried. But he has a guts to give AIME coaching classes. His organization, Being Human, changed to Being Married Human. Yeah, you're laughing on me, right? You don't believe in me? Let me give you one question. One situational based question which has appeared for the last year's exam. And before I give you the question, let me tell you only 20% men has passed it. Only 20% men. Are you ready for the question? Yes. Situational based question. Understand the situation properly. On the Sunday evening, you're cooking your wife's favorite dish. Very nice. Suddenly, 1-year-old baby pulling your leg, and you're trying to cook, multitask. Trick. Your phone rings. You're trying to cook. Hello. Trick. Who is this? Your wife's best friend. What? My wife has a best friend? She's robot. How can she has a best friend? Hello? Your wife is drunk. My wife is always drunk, baby. Your wife is always drunk, you know what she's talking about. Hello, idiot! Why you are not listening to me? She's drunk and married to an alien. Your wife got drunk and married to an alien. What would you do? Option 1. You'll start crying. Very bad news. And laugh. Thank you, alien. Take my wife. Take my wife permanently. I don't want her. Option number B. You'll get psycho. You'll cut the babies into pieces and go into the jail. In the inverted commas, it's written, please don't get married again. Option number C. You will call Free Spaceship Center and order a spaceship and go to the Mars and visit your wife. And option D, the most difficult one. It's kind of difficult. You will reappear for AIM. You know how Indian parents react when they see a baby boy? Oh no, I have to start money for AIME exam. They have to start saving money since the baby boy is born. You know why these things are happening in India? Any guesses? In 2040, the Indian men and women ratio was 90-10. In each district of India, there are 1 lakh men and 500 women. So I'm here to warn all of you. Before your son, you have to appear for AIB exam and be in that long waiting list to get married. Understand the importance of a girl child. Thank you so much.
One of this guy commented.
We are going to maintain 5 minutes of silence for the evaluators to finish their evaluation.
Shubhadeep, 1 minute has elapsed.
We'll wait for 5 minutes. As of now, it's okay. Okay, 5 minutes is up. Okay, what we are going to do is, so contestant number 1 is Viji and contestant number 2 is Eshwaran. So Zoom master, can we request you to put Eshwaran in a breakout room? Only Toastmaster Eshwaran in a breakout room.
I will do it, Shubhadeep.
Okay, thank you, Gayatri.
Shubhadeep, sorry, Ishwaran, you should be, do you have an option to?
I don't see it yet, Gayatri.
Okay, Ishwaran, once you join the breakout room, only come back when we ask you to come back. Okay?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I have opened.
Yeah, I am going to join the breakout room now.
Okay, good.
Okay, nobody else should go into the breakout room, only Ishwaran as of now. So in a contest, what will happen is there will be a sergeant at arms also with the contestants in the breakout room. Okay, judges, just to all the other participants here, you will be judging the 2 evaluators. You have the evaluation contest ballot also in the chat window. So open that. The criteria that we discussed, on the basis of that, you are going to evaluate the 2 contestants. Okay. And timer, you can show us the time. So timing will be for 2 to 3 minutes. You can show us the green at 2, 2.5 yellow, and 3 at red. Okay. Red at 3. Okay. So let's start with the evaluation speech contest. Calling upon the first contestant number 1, contestant number 1, Vijay Lakshmi. Vijay Lakshmi, can you quickly check if you're audible and visible by saying evaluation contest 1, 2, 3?
Evaluation contest 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we are clearly audible and visible. Let's go ahead. Contestant number 1, Vijay Lakshmi. Vijay Lakshmi, contestant number 1.
We learn the best in the moments of joy, said Ralph C. Smedley, our founder of Toastmasters International. And that is exactly what I felt, Madam Speaker, when I listened to your speech today. Honest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear speaker, of all the amazing things that you had super packed today to deliver, here are the top 3 things that I absolutely loved in your speech. Number 1, the concept. The concept of your speech, the content per se, was futuristic, new, bright, and lightning. Who would have thought that there would be an institute called AIME, where all men and women had to register to get married? A beautiful futuristic thought, and I wish it becomes a reality soon. And I'm waiting for 2085. Secondly, the gestures. You had limited gestures and you used them appropriately only at the right juncture. Now, when I say limited gesture, I'm talking exclusively about that point when you were trying to multitask. When there is a phone call coming in, when there is a baby crying at the footstep, and while you were trying to cook. All of these were beautifully managed, and you brought in the vivid descriptions right in front of me through your gesture, especially at that particular scene. Very well done. And thirdly, you have this loop concept in your speech. The lines that you started off the speech was exactly the same lines that you concluded the speech as well. Overall, the concept was running around in a loop, and that gave a completion to the concept and the content per se that you had to deliver today. Brilliantly done on all the 3 parameters for your commendation today. Let's quickly move on to the recommendation part of it. Today, for this particular speech, I have one specific recommendation, Madam Speaker, and I feel if you incorporate this one speech, this speech could be elevated to the next level, and that is stagecraft. Many a times through the entire speaking time, you were moving from one end to the other, making you breathless and making the audience, especially me, difficult to catch up with your content or your delivery. So I would strongly ask you to deliver a stagecraft where you start the speech at the center of your stage. You move to the right while starting your speech. You deliver the futuristic aspect the first few seconds of your speech, and then come to the center, and then you do that entire part where you were multitasking, then move to the left, deliver the concept, and finally come to the center stage for your final message again. This way, not only the concept, but the stagecraft could also be well delivered, and there will not be any breathlessness or you running around the entire speech while we miss you to see in action. Overall, in summary, I love the concept, the gesture, and the loop structure. If you could work on the stagecraft a bit more, where you could pace a little, take center, left, and right stages only while you were talking, I'm sure this would be a speech to remember, relish, and cherish. Good luck to you for all your future speeches. Back to you, Congress Chair.
We'll now maintain 1 minute silence for the judges to mark the ballots, while Zoom Master requests you to please pull in the next contestant.
Yes, Shabdeep, I'm back.
Okay, contestant number 2, Ishwaran. Can we quickly check whether you're audible or visible by saying evaluation contest 1, 2, 3?
Evaluation contest 1, 2, 3.
Yes, you're clearly audible and visible. We'll go ahead. Contestant number 2, Ishwaran. Ishwaran, contestant number 2.
Thank you. Comedy is a serious business. This is what I understood. An imaginary story, fictional, but you made everybody laugh together. Addressing an audience as ancestors, telling yourself as a child of 2085, those were some of the funny elements which I found. And when you started your speech, you brought in an element of inquisitiveness, which made us glued to your speech throughout. It had a lot of funny elements, such as talking about All India marriage examination, which is going to be a mandatory exam for men to pass to be eligible to get married. Thank God I am married. I don't need to write that exam. That was my first thought. Adding Salman Khan flavor. Everybody could relate that. When you said Salman Khan, everybody knew he is claiming to be a bachelor. But then when you talked about that exam, teaching, coaching, all that, we could all laugh together. And the way you handle cooking session, I love cooking. I could relate how hard it is to be a cook, to be inside the kitchen. And the way you were handling cooking along with using the phone, managing the phone call, your kids, everything. And the entire stage presence at that point was spot on. And to top it all, your connect with the audience throughout your speech was exemplary. These were some of the good things that I found in your speech. If we can pick a few areas where you can work on, here you go. One, at times I found too much of movement on the stage, especially in the initial part of your speech, which you need to work on. You talked about some ratio of 1,500,000 men, women, etc. I was expecting some kind of a source. I know it is all fictional. You need not have come up with actual statistical protocol, but still, if you had come out with something funny similar to AIMA, that would have made us laugh more on that line. And I could not hear a lot of words. It's not definitely because of the sound, low volume, but because I found at times you were too fast. We couldn't hear every syllable that you spoke. If you had given us that extra time to absorb your speech, it would have become even better. Take care of these elements. To summarize, you delivered a confident, humorous speech with a lot of funny elements and with a message. Understand the importance of your child. This is what I could observe. If you could work on these areas such as speed of delivery, stage presence, stage movement rather, your speech can reach further heights. On that note, thank you so much. All the best, target speaker. Back to you, Shubhi.
Thank you. We'll maintain 1 minute silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Okay, have we marked? Yes, no, yes. Okay, so because we have two contestants here, we are not going to go into the comparison of the marks. Okay, we are not going to do that. We are not going to, yeah, thank you. We are definitely not going to go into that. This is definitely not a contest as such, but this was to give you that flavor of how the contest actually happens and understand for those of you who are in doubt, this is exactly what is going to happen. Contestants will be pulled in one by one. During the 1 minute of silence, they will be just staying there on the video. We will do a check with them also. And really sorry for choosing that kind of a speech, but it was a little bit intentional from my side, because these things might happen, right? And understand this, as contestants and audience members, you might not know what would have gone in the background. Maybe the judge and the contest chair would have tried to fix it. There is no other way. They would have had to go with it. You never know. But in the contest, you cannot interfere. Please understand this, right? If things could be done better, the contest management team would have taken care of it, or the contest chair or the chief judge will interfere, nobody else. Okay, so these are some of the practical challenges of doing a online contest itself, and these challenges will grow all the more if we have a hybrid contest as well. That's the practicality of things on a very basic perspective. But before I take a few more questions, I want to understand one thing from a few things from all of you. Were you able to relate to what both the evaluators did according to the speech?
Yes.
Yes. Were you able to clearly relate that they had a proper introduction? Both of them had a proper introduction, had a proper commendation, then a recommendation part, then a summarization. All of them had that, right? Again, how you want to mark it, for example, I'm saying if Vijay has given one recommendation, but Ishwaran has given 2 recommendations, it's up to you how you want to mark them according to that, right? So it's not that only because they have given 1 recommendation it is low marks, or only they have given more recommendation it is high marks. That is also not true, but it's up to you how you want to do it. Again, we are not going to tell you what it is, but as a whole, are you looking if there is a recommendation at all, right? And whether those recommendations are relevant to the speech at all. Similarly, whatever commendations are being given, is it relevant to the speech actually what was delivered? Whatever summary is being done, is it relevant to what evaluation they have given right now? So you understand whether those things fall under the criteria of that evaluation contest and judge accordingly. Okay, I am going to leave to that. Now let me take a few more questions based on the evaluation contest.
I have one question, Shubdev.
Yes, Ishwaran.
I didn't know that this was intentional. Okay, a lot of people were talking about it, so I also jumped the gun and said the voice was low. But normally in a contest, the chief judge is asked to check the audio video of the contestant and confirm that the person is audible, right? That's one thing that we always do.
Yes,
so
that's what I said.
Will there still be a situation where you have these kind of speeches?
You might, you never know. The reason, because I'll tell you what, think it in this way. Let's say I am the chief judge. I have also joined online. And there is a club which is having a hybrid contest. Now, the person who is present in person, they are completely relying on the logistics of the hall. What if the acoustic of the hall itself is bad? I can't tell them change the venue now. Right? So there might be challenges like this, I'm saying. Again, that's why I'm saying understand this, that before there will be audio and video checks. The contest chair, the contest master, the entire contest management team will try to ensure to the level best that these are clear even before the contest starts, right? There will be scenarios where the test speaker also will be asked to join and test their audio video properly, right? There will be dry runs in the physical venue. All of these things will happen. So the contest management team will ensure that these things does not crop up during the contest. But if it is an unavoidable situation, it will have to be done in that way. So that's where it was just a ploy on that part. Gayatri, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, Ishwaran, we had a district level contest few years ago in Bangalore. And the mic for one of the contestant, it was not working properly. I mean, not the contestant, the target speaker. Whenever she turned this side, it was not audible. Whenever she was here, it was audible. This is still available in YouTube and you can go check that. The evaluation contestants were sitting in the first row, but some of them could not hear the name of the character in that speech. So it is not a problem of the online contest or hybrid. This can happen anytime, but nobody intervenes. So the idea here is how the evaluation contestant uses it as a point to convey back. So some of them said how they could have managed that mic problem. Like the mic is not audible this side, you manage it this way. So end of the day, we cannot manage all the problems that may happen. So you go with the flow and see what best can be done. That's the point here.
Got it. Thank you, Gayatri, for bringing that up. Okay, any other questions? Any other thoughts? No questions. Okay.
Here
are we?
Dinesh.
Yes. Thank God. Now I'm relaxed. Which means people are listening. Yes, Dinesh, go ahead.
1 minute is given at the last.
Yes.
Just to mark the numbers or.
Okay. So from a judging criteria, what happens is for any contest, I'm saying, let's say humorous contest also, evaluation contest also, once each of the speaker finishes, there will be 1 minute of gap which is given for the judges to mark the ballot. So ideally what has happened is maybe you have not been able to do all the marking. So you can either finish during that time, or whatever you would have marked for each of the criteria, that's the time for you to sum up and put the total marks. Okay. What happens is once all the contestants are completed, you will be given 2 minutes of silence. In this 2 minutes, the expectation from the judges are, one, whoever is the last contestant, you will sum up the marks for that contestant and put it. And also what will happen, if you look at the judges' ballot, excuse me, at the end of it, there is written first place, second place, and third place. As a judge, you will not be submitting your marks. How much marks you give is completely up to you. From all of that, you will be only submitting for your ballot who is your first position, second position, and third position, right? So what will happen is, here, let's say you have given the same marks for 2 contestants. At the end, you might find out that, oh, I have given same marks for 2 contestants. So now it is up to you to resolve that and put it. You cannot say 2 people are first position for me or 2 people are second position for me. You have to give to the chief judge unique names. So 1 person for first, 1 person for second, 1 person for third. How you break the tie again is up to you, right? So in that 2 minutes, you're supposed to do all of this thing. At the end again, put the first position name, second position name, and third position name, tear that part only and give it to the chief judge or the tally counters who will be collecting the ballots. So this is the reason why that 1 minute and 2 minute gaps are given in between the speakers and at the end of the entire contest speech.
So the first part of the ballot will remain with us.
Will remain with you, and you are not supposed to give it to anybody how much you have marked. In fact, we keep saying that, especially if you're attending a physical contest and you are carrying a ballot with you, destroy that ballot. Do not just throw it in the dustbin of that club and come back. We have had instances, people have thrown it in the dustbin. Someone will go fishing in the dustbin and find out how much marks has been given. We have that instances as well. So carry it with you. From an experience, I would say I would always carry it with you, throw somewhere, tear it up and throw it outside in a dustbin. And don't again loiter the road and say that Shubhadeep told us to throw it outside, so I just came outside and threw it in the road. Please don't do that.
And Shubhadeep, it needs to be signed.
Yes, thank you so much. After you put the 1, 2, and 3 names, it has to be signed and your name has to be written. In a physical ballot, if you do not sign it and do not write your name, that will not be considered for the final tallying by the chief judge. Okay. Yeah, I'll come to Prabhakaran, then I'll come to Vijay. Prabhakaran, please go ahead.
There is one unique situation that when there was a tie between first and second, there was a same equal mark. So I for the tiebreaker. Again, third has come to the first. Again tie. So this situation, how to handle it?
Prabhakaran, are you talking about for your ballot or are you talking about when the tallying was going on?
Tally was good.
I'll come to the tallying part a little later. I understood what you're saying. I'll come to the tallying part a little later.
Okay.
For your ballot, remember, you cannot have a tie when you're submitting the ballot. You have to resolve it. You have to put a unique 1, 2, 3 and give it to the tally counter or chief judge. Okay. How this tie needs to be resolved while tallying, I will definitely get into the specific of it for everyone. Vijay, go ahead. You had a question.
All these resolutions should be done in 1 minute.
Which for your ballot by the end of it, yes. By the end of the entire contest, yes. Okay. Vijay, you wanted to add something.
Worried about the timing. So Dinesh, at the end of it, we say 2 minutes, but the CJ will wait until all the ballots have been
collected.
And if you are an online judge, you will have some time. Don't worry if the press for time. But between the contest, it will be just 1 minute.
Just 1 minute only. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Shub, it's not a question, Shub. I just wanted to add to what they said about the signature. In a physical meeting, the ballot will hold valid only when the signature of the judge and the name is given. The best practice is when the chief judge is briefing the judges, get the signature and the name written during the judge's briefing and tear the perforated part of it during the judge's briefing and not in the contest venue when everything is quiet and people can hear the thorough sound of it.
Thank you, Vijay, for saying that also. That yes, during that 2 minutes, what will happen is there will be pin drop silence in the room and suddenly you tear it. Everybody will be looking at who is tearing and everybody knows you are a judge. So yes, in a physical contest, it's a good practice that when you are having the judges briefing itself, you sign, tear it, and keep that separately somewhere. Once you're finished marking, you just write that and give it to the tally counter. Thank you, Vijay, for sharing that. Yes, Janani, you had a question too.
Yes, Subhadeep. Actually, regarding the timing, but not this timing for the judges to mark the balance sheets. I have queries on evaluators' timing. For example, today, Vijay spoke for more than 3 minutes. 3 minutes for some few seconds, but she is eligible. And Ishwaran, he took, while showing the yellow card, he stopped. Is that also plays a major role?
Okay, so thank you. Very important question over here. As judges, be it in evaluation contest, be it in any contest, you are not supposed to consider the timing of the speeches into your judging criteria, right? If you feel Ishwaran has done a fantastic job within that 2 minutes itself, by the green card is shown, it's fine. There is nothing wrong in it. That's why the timing just says it's qualified. Even if that person speaks for 2 minutes exactly, that person is qualified. So there is nothing wrong in that. That is where you are not supposed to consider the timing itself. In fact, several times we have seen this as chief judge also. When we tally, we see that everybody has given first place to somebody, and that person might have got disqualified because either that person has spoken less or more than the timing given. So the judges have not taken that into consideration, right? So as judges, please do not take into consideration what the timing of the speeches is. You just look at the speech and give it. Even if somebody is going on for 10 minutes, you judge them for the content of the speeches. Okay. Thank you, Janani, for that as well. Any other questions, any other thoughts before we quickly go to contest management and a very important part this year?
Subhadeep, do we have the 30 seconds grace time?
Yeah, that's always there. That's always there for any contest. So if basically, so for evaluate, though it is said 5 to 7 minutes. So the disqualification time for evaluation for humorous speech contest is the lower limit is 4 minutes 30 seconds and the upper limit is 7 minutes 30 seconds. And in evaluation contest, it is actual timing is set 2 to 3 minutes, but the lower disqualification time is 1 minute 30 seconds and the higher disqualification time is 3 minutes 30 seconds. Okay, but again, please note from a timing perspective, no signal will be given after you're disqualified. This for everyone. So even if, let's say, like what Janani mentioned, Vijay has gone beyond 3 minutes. So if the red card has come up, the red card will stay as long as Vijay is speaking. Even if she speaks for 4 minutes, it will simply be the red card is on. That's all. Like she wouldn't be like, hey, red card is, Vijay, stop speaking, red card. No, all that will not happen. Okay. Okay, with this, what we'll do is we'll quickly go into the contest management part, something which I feel needs a lot of focus as well for specifically this year. So we have already covered this. So now we are going into few other aspects of contest management and we'll answer few other questions also that has come up here. So again, quick few questions. What are the different role players involved in a contest? In any contest?
Contest chair, contest master,
SAA, Zoom master,
timer,
contestant,
contestants, evaluators,
sergeant at arms,
voting judges, tiebreaker judge,
chief judge.
Okay, perfect. I think almost all of them are covered. So yes, your contest chair, contest masters, chief judge, voting judges, tiebreaker judges, timers, sergeant at arms, tally counters, very, very important. Tally counters are also needed for how the tallying will happen. Zoom masters, you need to have a separate Zoom master for an online or a hybrid contest. You cannot have one of the SAA as a Zoom master. You need to have a separate Zoom master and definitely test speaker for your evaluation contest. Okay, next. How many of the different role players are needed in the contest? So let's quickly go through one by one. We'll come to the judges a little later. How many contest chair is needed?
One.
Ideal two. Co-contest
chair?
Co-contest chair may be required, right?
How many contest chairs are needed?
One.
Contest chair can be one person. If it is a big contest, you can have a co-contest chair as well.
Yeah.
How many contest masters are needed?
Two.
Okay. How many sergeant-at-arms is needed?
Two.
For an online or a physical contest, 2 is more than enough. But if you're doing a hybrid contest, you need to have additional 2. So 2 for online, 2 for physical. Okay. How many timers are needed?
2.
Yes, minimum 2 timers. Again, same minimum 2 timers. Again, same in a hybrid contest, it should be 4. 2 timers who will be doing online, 2 timers who will be present in the physical venue. Okay. How many tally counters are needed?
2.
Again, 2. How many chief judges needed?
1.
Can we have 2 chief judges?
Yeah, we
No,
can.
don't bring 2 chief judges. They will fight and make your life worse. So have only 1 chief judge. Okay. So here's a quick view. Yeah.
Subdeep, is it ideal to have a backup chief judge? What if in the last minute the chief judge is unable to make it?
It's always good to have backup of all role players.
Yes. Importantly, or most importantly for the CJ.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you what, practically speaking, what we have seen, CJs are usually a little more experienced people, right? And what happens is, if such an emergency comes up, right, that the CJ has to back up in the last minute, they will find somebody else and give it to you. Finding a backup CJ is not a big concern for you. I'll tell you where the problems happen. Have a backup test speaker. Because test speaker backing out in the last minute, you will not get somebody to give that, right? So these things are worse scenarios, right? So CJ and all, mostly 99% scenarios what we have seen where CJs back out, they will say that because I have to back out for an emergency, I've already spoken to this person, they will hand over. You need not put an headache behind that, ideally. So to quickly go through, contest chair, you need minimum 1, contest master minimum 2. Chief judge, again, contest master also can be done with 1 contest master if absolutely needed. Chief judge, you definitely need 1. Timers, minimum 2, but in a hybrid contest, you have +2. Same sergeant-at-arms, minimum 2. In a hybrid contest, you have +2. Tally counters, you need to have minimum 2. Zoom master, you need to have 1 separate Zoom master for an online or a hybrid contest, and definitely minimum 1 test speaker for an evaluation contest. Okay, coming to the next one. How many judges are needed at each level of contest? What are the minimum number of voting judges needed in a club level?
7.
How much? Somebody said.
5.
I am hearing lots of numbers.
Club level 5, I guess.
Club level 5, I guess.
6-1 can be a tiebreaker judge. So 5.
Tiebreaker is separate.
1.
I'm saying
5
voting
+1.
judges. Only voting judges.
5.
Acha, 5. How many are needed at a division level?
5.
No, not 5. I think it is
7.
8 or 10, if I'm right. It's much more.
Okay, let's crack the confusion. So at a
minimum
club,
1 from each area.
So at a club or a division club or an area level, you need minimum 5 voting judges plus 1 tiebreaker judge. Okay, remember, plus 1 tiebreaker judge. You cannot say I have 4 judges and 1 tiebreaker judge. You need minimum 5 voting judges and 1 tiebreaker judge. At a division or a district level, you need minimum 7 voting judges and 1 tiebreaker judge. And again, remember while we were talking about the judges being from the same club or the same area, if it is in an area level contest, if it is from the same area, let's say there are 4 clubs in an area. Okay, out of the 5 judges that you have, there has to be 1 judge at least from each of the club. Now, remember, this is just a scenario I'm saying. Let's say you have 4 judges from 4 clubs. If you take 1 more judge from one of the other club, you need to have 2 judges from each of the clubs. So you need to have 8 judges. You cannot say from one of the club there are 2 judges, and from the other club there is 1 judge each. There has to be equal representation from each of the club. So to have the 5 judges, you can do this, that let's say there are 1 judge from each of the clubs, and then there is 1 judge who is outside the area. That is acceptable. The tiebreaker judge being outside the area, that is acceptable, as long as you have equal representation from each of the club. Right? Same translates to division or the district. Clear? Yes, clear? Okay, perfect. Moving on to the next one. Who is responsible for finding voting judges and tiebreaker judge?
CJ.
Chief Judge.
And
Anyone
also
else?
CC.
Chief Judge?
Only
Contest chair.
CJ. No,
Chief
only
Judge,
CJ.
Chief Judge.
Only CJ.
CJ only.
Thank you. Chief Judge only. Contest chairs are not supposed to get involved in finding voting judges or tiebreaker judges. They are strictly supposed to stay out of it. A chief judge may take the help of a district officer to find judges. May. But again, it's not a compulsion. So if I am an area in a particular division or a particular area, I may ask the area director, do you have people? That's my choice as a chief judge. But it is only responsibility of the chief judge, not the contest chair. Who is responsible for finding the test speaker for an evaluation contest?
Contest master. Sorry.
CJ.
Contest chair.
Contest chair. Yes, this is the responsibility of the contest chair, but we recommend them to take the help of the chief judge. The only reason is many a times what happens is even the contest chair might be a newbie, right? Ideally speaking, most of the time what happens, the experienced people might be contesting. So there is someone new who is taking up the role of a contest chair. They might be doing it for the first time as well. So that is where you take the help from the chief judge so that you find a suitable test speaker. Who is responsible for finding chief judge and other role players?
Contest chair.
Contest chair is responsible for finding other role players. At a club level, the contest chair can take help from the VP. At the other levels, they can take help from the area director, similarly from the division director, and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay. Going to the next question. When should the contest briefing and draw of speaking positions happen?
Ideally,
contest and briefing.
1 day before.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Before the start of the contest?
Yes, this should happen on the day of the contest, before the start of the contest. I'll tell you the reason why we are saying this. There are instances where it might happen that, let's say, one of the contestants has said, I will not be able to contest. Right? And on the day they come back and say that, no, I'm here and I'm able to contest. You have to allow them to contest. Okay. You cannot say no, just because you have said I will not be able to contest, I will not allow you to contest now. And once that person is contesting, you anyways have to do the lot picking again. Lot picking and the briefing of the contestants should happen on the day of the contest, before the start of the contest happens. Okay. Clear? Please do not do the, yes.
Shubdeep, I have a question. Now the lot picking is done on the day of the contest. Now, after that is done, a contestant comes and says, I want to participate. There is still time for the start of the contest. Would you allow?
Yes.
Then again, you will do the lot picking.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll tell you this. So there are 2 reasons for which a contestant may not be allowed to contest, even if they are actually eligible. One, if the contest has already started, means the contest master has come up and started speaking, and then one of the contestant comes and says, I'm going to contest. So when this happens, I'm just for others also to understand when this happens is, let's say from a club level, there is first and second person who is supposed to go to the area level. Now the winner says, I am, for some reason, I'm not available on the day of the area contest. Ideally, what will happen is the person who is in the third position will be told to contest. Or let's say, take this scenario, let's say the first contestant is also not available, the third contestant is also not available. So from that club, only the person who has placed second is actually coming and contesting at an area level. Now the person who had come first, who was the winner, comes on the day of the contest and says, no, I'm available and I'm ready to contest. So ideally, no matter when they come, they have to be allowed to contest, unless one, the contest master of that contest had already started speaking, which means the contest has already begun. If the contest has already begun, then the contestant may not be allowed to contest. This is the first criteria. Second criteria is, let's say, like Ishwaran, what you said, the contest is just about to begin and this person is saying that I want to contest. That person can contest only if that person has filled up all the forms, which is the contestant profile form, and more importantly, the originality and eligibility form. If this person has these two forms filled in and comes and says, I want to contest, and says that, yes, I'm eligible and all of that, then you have to allow that person to contest by doing one more lot picking, one more round of lot picking as a whole. Okay. But in this situation also, it is not essential that you have to do the contestant briefing as a whole. At this scenario, the contestant is basically foregoing their briefing, but just the lot picking will happen and you will start the contest. Am I clear? Everyone?
Yes, Shubdeep. Thanks.
Banik, one question here, Pinto.
Yes,
so, the thing is, in the interest of the time, because contest management team would have also set out a time. Now, should the other contestants, in the interest of time, suppose a contest should have started at 9 o'clock, and because of this discretion that came in, some of the other contestants, if they raise protest that no, the contest management team has delayed the proceedings, how as chief judge or as contest chair should we tackle this effectively?
So first and foremost, there is no ground of raising protest itself here. Protest cannot be raised by a contestant on any of these grounds. Okay. First thing, from a rule perspective, I'm saying. Second thing is, again, from a rule perspective, TI says you have to allow them to contest. There is no two-way about it. Okay. The other aspect to it is, like I said, that is a reason where you have to understand the practicality of things as well. See, understand one thing. All these rules, and this is not just to Pinto, I know Pinto where you are coming from. This is for the understanding of everyone else. The reason why these rules are there, as mentioned by Aarti also at the beginning, and many of our experienced folks will agree, is that to maintain fairness. But at the same time, it's not that we want to stop someone from contesting. We also want to enable the contestants, right? We want to give them that opportunity. So understand the practicality of it. Now, if the contest, that's why it says that if the contest has already begun, if that person says, am I going to stop the contest and then do the lot picking again? No, I will not do. Practically, the lot picking should not take more than 4 or 5 minutes max, I'm saying. So that way you can allow the contestant to contest. But again, very practically speaking, let's say the contest chair has announced the contest master's name and suddenly this person is pinging saying that I'm contesting. Is it a practical way to allow that person to contest? That I leave it up to you as a chief judge in that situation. But this is what the rule is. Now, there is one more thing before I go for that. There is one more thing I want to mention over here. This might become a problem because practically speaking, TI has allowed hybrid contest. Okay. Now think it in this way. Let's say all of the other contestants have agreed for a complete physical contest at your club level, I'm saying. Now there is one contestant who suddenly says that, no, I want to come and contest in an online mode. Obviously, in that last minute, you cannot change the entire setup for that one contestant. That's a practical challenge. So in those situations, you need to make them understand the practical challenge of it. But Ideally, again, if they have told from beforehand that no, this is what we are going to, you're supposed to make that arrangement as well. Okay, Pinto, I hope I explained that.
Yeah, and then this last example is a real critical situation.
Yes.
Which I think many clubs may face. So thank you for bringing that. Yes,
definitely. And please understand, this year, as it has been voted, clubs can hold any format of contest, be it fully physical, be it fully online, or be it hybrid. At an area level, only online contest is allowed. At a division and a district level, again, hybrid contest is allowed, and they will happen in a hybrid mode. Okay. Okay, we'll quickly go to the next.
Just
yes.
a point. Couple of questions have been raised on the chat.
Okay.
So you can refer to it. I want to add one point in terms of delaying the contest. See, end of the day, we have all these rules and regulations to facilitate the contestants to contest. Please remember that. What happened this year in International World Championship finals was one of the contestants, okay, when she was supposed to contest at the division level contest, she had her travel plans. She was supposed to reach, but the flight got delayed. She booked on another flight on an elite mode where she could connect through Wi-Fi, but that also did not work. Okay. So she thought the contest would have happened and she has lost this opportunity this year. But all the contestants voted to move the division contest to a different date. And it was all worth it because she won the semi-finals and she was one of the finalists of International World Championship of Public Speaking. So here, the point here is everybody agreed that, okay, it's worth giving her a chance because she missed a flight, which was something out of her hands. So end of the day, the rule is for facilitating the contestant. So remember that and collaborate such that it is all agreeable to everybody. Not think in terms of what protest can I raise and cause a problem. End of the day, you have to work with all of us. It's not going to be that one contest, one trophy is not the idea. So just think in that perspective is what I wanted to add.
Very
you can
true.
answer those questions and answer, Shubha.
Very true, Gayatri. Thank you for that. Okay, I have a few questions on the chat. Do we have a dry run for virtual contest? Yes, you must have a dry run. Not only for virtual contests, even if you're doing a fully physical contest, even then you should have a dry run. Okay. Should the lot picking happen in the presence of everyone? Ideally, yes, all contestants are supposed to be present when the lot picking is happening. If by chance a contestant is not present during, and this is also one of the reasons why we say that it should happen on the day of the contest. A contestant may not be available on a day before. On the day of the contest, the contestant ideally will be available. But even then, absolutely, if the contestant is not available, they may inform the contest chair and the chief judge from beforehand, saying that I will not be present in the lot picking physically. On my behalf, there will be someone else who will be representing me. But a representative has to be present. It cannot be that nobody is present from the contestant side. Okay, there has to be a representative. Can it happen with the CJ? Ideally, again, the CJ should be present during the contestant briefing and the lot picking, but it will be done by the contest chair. It is recommended the CJ is present because if there are any questions, if there are any discrepancies, the CJ will be able to resolve that. Okay. It would be helpful for our Zoom master to note down. Oh, okay. Clubs can have physical only contest mode. Yes, if they want, they can have. There is no restriction on not doing it. Okay, so let's quickly go to the next one. When should the role players or judges briefing happen?
Before day of contest.
Yes, this can happen anytime before the contest date as well. There is no restriction on this part. Okay, just to give you a quick understanding of one more aspect, please understand, let's say there is a hybrid contest that is happening, right? Or for that matter, even a physical contest that is happening, it is not mandated that you have to have the physical judges briefing as well. As a chief judge, you can do the judges briefing online and then ask the judges to be present in person. That's up to you. There is no restriction on this part. Okay, I have a question on the chat. What is the responsibility of the Zoom master in a physical meet? I never said you need a Zoom master in a physical meet. I said you need a Zoom master for an online or a hybrid contest, an extra Zoom master. Okay. Okay, let me go back to these questions. Who conducts the briefing of the contestants?
Chief Judge or CC.
Contest chair.
Yes, as I said, this is done by the contest chair, recommended to be done in the presence of the chief judge. Which role players are briefed by the chief judge?
Or voting judge.
Tally
Voting
counter,
judge.
timer.
Tiebreaker judge.
Yes. So your voting judges, your tiebreaker judges, your timers, and the tally counters. These are the role players who are briefed by the chief judge. If you're taking chief judge for the first time, remember your tiebreaker, the other judges, other voting judges should not know who the tiebreaker judge also is. So you will have to do a separate briefing for your tiebreaker judge as well. Okay. And brief your timers separately, tell them what their responsibilities is, give them a quick brief about how the timing should start, what are all of these things. Very importantly, please mention to them that they should not reveal the timing to other people. Okay. People, especially contestants who would have seen the red card, will come back to the timers later and say, hey, did I get disqualified? They're not supposed to reveal that. Okay. Same as for the tally counters, tell them not to reveal the results to anybody else before the results are being announced.
Should even after the results are announced.
Even after the results are announced, yes.
Right.
Even after results are announced, timers and tally counters are not supposed to reveal what has happened in the timer sheet and the tally sheet to anybody at all. Okay. Quickly going on some of the general procedure. Now I'm going to quickly run through it. I think most of it has been discussed already. So before the contest chair finds the role players, CJ finds the voting judges, the tiebreaker judges. Contest chair, please make sure you check the eligibility of the contestants. Quick check with the club roster helps over here. Make sure the contest chairs have filled in all the forms. The contest chairs has to communicate the date, time, and venue of the contest. In an online contest, the link as well ahead of time. Contestant briefing, the contest chair brief the contestants and role players. This happens just before the contest starts. CJ briefs the judges, timers, tally counters, and all of that. Make sure you enable audio, video, and connectivity check for all the contestants and role players. This is where we are saying that dry run is a must for all contestants and role players. If for an evaluation contest, have a separate time when you can do the audio, video check and connectivity check for the test speaker. Don't do it with all the other role players and contestants. Please be mindful about that. Okay. People should not know who the test speaker is before that on the day actually it is announced. Now, this is what happens in general for any contest. Okay. Now, during the contest, this is specific for the humorous speech contest. What happens is Sergeant at Arms introduces the contest chair. Contest chair introduces the contest master. Contest master, there will be a contest master script. They will read through that. Contest master script has already been, I think, published, or it will go to you within another 1 day or so. Now the contestants will call by name, topic, name. Remember, in this has already been mentioned in the contest master script. Remember, you are not supposed to call in Toastmaster or DTM, anything like that. Just contestant number 1, Shubhadeep Banik, my life, Shubhadeep Banik. That's all. Okay. Not supposed to mention anything at all. Once one of the contestant finishes, you maintain 1 minute of silence and then repeat it for all the contestants. Once all the contestant finishes, and this is what Gayatri was saying, it's not just 2 minutes. They will wait for the CJ to announce that all the ballots has been collected, timer sheets have been collected, and the tally counters has moved out of the room. Only then the next procedure happens. And then the contest master hands the control back to the contest chair. In your contest, if the contestants interview are happening here, then the contestant interview happens before the contest master gives it back to the contest chair. Okay. The only difference for an evaluation contest here is, so what will happen is the contest master, after reading the contest master script, they will first call the test speaker. Again, remember here, no objective, nothing will be set for the test speaker. They will just call the test speaker saying that we'll now call the test speaker. Again, name, topic, topic, name. That's it. No objective, no timing, no nothing will be said. Once it is finished, they will say that 5-minute silence for all the contestants to write down their evaluation. During this time, all the evaluators will remain in the main room. Be it in the online room, be it in the physical venue, they will remain in the main room. Okay. Once that 5 minutes is up, during that 5 minutes, please maintain silence. Now, please listen to this carefully for those of you who are attending contests for the first time, and especially if you're planning for a hybrid or a physical contest for the first time. Excuse me. What happens is, in an online contest, once this 5 minutes is up, except the first contestant, all the other contestants will be moved to a breakout room. Okay, they will stay in that breakout room, and one by one the contestants will be called in for evaluation contest. I'm saying only for evaluation contest, not for humorous speech contest. In a physical meeting, you have to have 2 rooms, and these 2 rooms ideally shouldn't be adjacent to each other. One will be a main contest venue, one is called a holding area. So while all the contestants are writing their evaluation, they will be in the main contest venue. Once that 5 minutes is up, except the first contestant, all the other contestants will be taken into this other room. This other room should be a little distant from the main room so that the actual contest is not heard in that holding area. Okay, so all these contestants will be staying in this holding area. Now, in an online contest, one of the sergeant at arms will be there with the contestant in the breakout room. In a physical contest, one of the sergeant at arms will stay with all the contestants in the holding area, while one by one they are being called back. Okay, so one by one they will be called back, and in this case they will be only said again contestant number and the name. So they will be said contestant number 1, Shubhadeep Banik, contestant number 1. That's it. Again, no Toastmaster, no DTM, nothing like that. Okay. Once each of the contestant finishes, 1 minute break will be given. Remember, while this 1 minute break is given, ask the other contestant to come to the room, be it from the breakout room or be it from the holding area. One thing I want to specify over here, even in a humorous speech contest, if the humorous speaker has a prop they need to set up in a physical contest or in an online contest, the prop must be set up within that 1 minute. If it takes more than that 1 minute, they cannot set that up. The contest will go ahead. The contest will not wait for a contestant to set up a prop. Okay. And that setting up of the prop is also responsibility of the contestant. They might take help from the sergeant at arms. For example, if they, in a physical meeting, if they need to move a chair to the stage, if they need a table at the stage, something like that, they can take a help, but it is the responsibility of the contestant. Okay. So again, here also 1 minute silence will be maintained between each contestant. At the end, there will be silence maintained till all the ballots are collected. And finally, the contestant interview will happen and the contest master hands back control to the contest chair. I'll take a pause here. Any question about the contest procedure?
Shubhadeep, there are a couple of questions on the chat again.
Okay, I'll come back to the chat window in that case. Okay, clubs can have physical contests. That is, I had answered. Okay, who should be selected as the voting judges for a club level or area level contest by CJ? Yes, the CJ CJ selects. Who the CJ can select is up to them. Again, the criteria has already been mentioned. You have to go by the criteria. Should it be from the same club or the club for a different one? Again, I think we had already put on this that ideally it should not be from the same club. It should be definitely from a different club. In an area or a division level, if you're selecting from the same club, There has to be equal representation from each club and each area. Okay. What is the procedure when it is a tie? I'll come to this part, the tallying part, in a little while. Give me a little bit more time. Okay, does the decision to conduct a contest online or physical mode lie with the XCOM or the contest? XCOM. It lies with the XCOM of the club, not the contest chair. If someone is qualified for area evaluation, are they qualified for CJ for area or humorous? No. Please do not do this. Ideally speaking, yes. If you are, from a rule perspective, if you look at, if you are eligible, if you are contesting only in an evaluation contest, you are eligible to be a judge in a humorous contest, practically speaking, ideally speaking. But practically in our district, that does not happen, because evaluation and humorous happens as one contest, right? That is why we are continuously mentioning this. One, you will not be able to do this, that if you are a contestant in that contest, you cannot take up a role in the other contest. Means, let's say a contest is happening for area level. You are a humorous speech contestant. You cannot say that I am a humorous speech contestant at that area level, and that area level contest, I am the contest master for evaluation contest. You cannot do that. You cannot take up a contest role, any role as such. And in our district, how it happens is, any chief judge will take a judge who will be judge for both. They will not say these judges are for humorous speech contest and these judges are for evaluation contest. They are judges for one contest as a whole. So you cannot be a judge. Please do not get into that discrepancy. Okay.
Subhadeep, I have a doubt here.
Yes.
The thing is, can the chief judge be the tiebreaker judge also?
No. No. The chief judge cannot take up a tiebreaker or a voting judge. Chief judge cannot be a part of any kind of voting judge at all, be it voting judge or tiebreaker judge.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I hope I answered those questions.
Subhadeep?
Yes.
Can we have, if I am a chief judge in my club, can I be a judge in another level also?
Yes,
area?
you can be a judge in another contest. In that contest, you cannot.
Okay.
Let's say you are the chief judge, one of the judges has backed out in the last minute. You cannot say that, okay, I will do the judging. That's what I'm saying. So that's where it is recommended to have some backup judges as well.
Okay. So certainly, I mean, if I am not a chief judge or judge in my club, I can be a judge in area level.
Yeah. That's what. As long as you fulfill the criteria, there is nothing stopping you. There is nothing that you have to judge at a club level only to be a judge in an area level. Nothing like that.
Shubhadeep, what I
criteria like
to understand, I think Dinesh was using my club. So I don't know whether you observed that. When we say my club, I cannot be a CJ in my club.
Yeah, definitely. You cannot be a. Thank you, Pinto, for pointing that. Ideally, again, you should not be a CJ or a chief judge in your own club. CJ or a voting judge in your own club. Yeah, if that is the question. Sorry. Yes, Gayatri.
Yeah, again, it's recommended. It's not a
correct. It's not a rule.
It's only to ensure you don't get into conflicts later on, because the club culture should continue even after the contest. So
yeah,
better to get CJ and VJs from outside so that there is no bias for the contest.
Okay, so in the best interest, we'll quickly move on to a few questions. I see one more question. Do voting judges have level completion criteria? I'm going to be a little, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little harsh because we are running out of time. This is the reason why we tell you that please join the JTP from the beginning, not in the last minute. These has already been discussed. Please go through the rule book. Yes, there are criteria in various levels. Please go through the rule book separately. Quickly moving on, after the contest, these are few things you have to ensure. CJ will give the result form to the contest chair for announcement. It has to mention how many disqualifications has happened. Okay. So if there are, let's say there are two people time disqualified, you have to mention two people have been disqualified because of time. Okay. And this, somebody is not on mute if you're not asking a question. And please note the contest chair has to announce how many disqualification has happened. Earlier, this was not a rule. This time it is a rule that the contest chair has to announce the number of disqualifications. Okay. Contest chair is supposed to announce first by saying that this many number of disqualifications has happened. Then they will announce the result in the format of first you announce who is the second runner-up, then you announce who is the first runner-up, then you announce who is the winner. Remember, contest chair, please do not play guessing game over here. Do not say, can you guess who is the winner? No, you just announce like that. Okay. You are not being given the Oscar hosting criteria and all of those things. So please keep it straightforward. I'm going to quickly focus on the part of the tallying over here. What happens is, so as a chief judge, if I am a chief judge, I will only get the ballots from my judges, which will mention only in their ballot who is first, who is second, who is third. Okay. Now what will happen with the tally counters when I'm doing the tallying? In my ballot sheet, in my tally sheet, sorry, I will write down the judges' names and the contestant name. Now let's say, just for example, I'm taking, let's say Viji and Ishwaran were the two contestants today. So let's say take Gayatri's ballot. In Gayatri's ballot, Ishwaran is first and Viji is second. Okay. So what I do is for Ishwaran, I will give 3 marks. Whoever is first will get 3 points. Whoever is second will get 2 points. Whoever is third will get 1 point in the tally sheet. So because Ishwaran's ballot is third, Ishwaran's ballot is first, I will give 3 marks to Ishwaran. Viji is second in Gayatri's ballot, so I'll give 2 marks to Viji. Now let's say, for example, I'll take Pinto's ballot. Let's say in Pinto's ballot, Viji is first and Ishwaran is second. So I give 3 marks to Viji and 2 marks to Ishwaran. Okay. Now what has happened is in the tally, so Viji also has 5 marks. Ishwaran also has 5 marks. Only now I will open tiebreaker's ballot. In tiebreaker's ballot, now I will open and see that in the tiebreaker's ballot, who is first and who is second. So if I see in the tiebreaker's ballot, Ishwaran is first. So in my total balloting, Ishwaran comes first, Viji comes second. Okay. This is one way to it. Now I'll tell you one more aspect. Let's say there are 4 contestants. There is Ishwaran, there is Viji, there is Gayatri, and there is Pinto. There are 4 contestants. In this 4 contestants, what happens is, let's say I find both Viji and Ishwaran is on first position according to the tallying. Gayatri is in second position and Pinto is in third position. Okay, this is the tally that has happened. Now, because there is a tie between the first position, I will now open the tiebreaker's ballot. Let's say in tiebreaker's ballot, Pinto is in first position. It doesn't matter. I don't care what position is Pinto in or Gayatri in the tiebreaker's ballot. Sorry, Pinto and Gayatri. Now, after some time, I'll get a text from Pinto. But ideally speaking, as a chief judge, I don't care which position Pinto is or Gayatri is in. In the tiebreaker's ballot, I'll only see what is the position for Viji and Ishwaran because the tie is only between them. Maybe in the tiebreaker's ballot, Viji is fourth and Ishwaran is third. Can be. But because Ishwaran is 1 position higher than Viji in the tiebreaker's ballot, so in my tally sheet, I will say Ishwaran has won. Between the tie between Ishwaran and Viji, tie is now broken. Ishwaran comes first. Because Viji was second, now Viji becomes second. Gayatri becomes third, which Gayatri actually was second. So Gayatri becomes third. And Pinto was in the third position, but Pinto is gone. So we have thrown out Pinto consciously. No, not like that. But this is how the tie breaking happens. Are we clear?
One question.
I have a question.
So, sorry, Shubhadeep, one question. You talked about 3 marks for the first prize, first winner, 2 marks for the second place, right? We also have the second place, second runner-up. So what is the marks given? 1. Okay.
1
so
mark.
3, 2, 1. Okay.
Correct. First position gets 3 marks. Second position gets 2 marks. Third position gets 1 mark. Put it for all the contestants and all the judges. Then you tally the total. The tally sheet and the tiebreaker sheet is there. One more aspect before I take a few more questions. If you notice the tiebreakers ballot, in that ballot part, it's not just 1, 2, 3. The tiebreaker, let's say if there are 10 contestants, the tiebreaker has to mark 1 to 10. Right? They have to give all the 10 positions. So as a chief judge, you will know where those, that's why I said, it doesn't matter who the other people are. I will just take the 2 contestants who has a tie and I will only see their position in the tiebreakers ballot. It can be their 9th and 10th, but I will break it according to that.
I have a question.
Yes, Kalpana.
Yeah. So if there was no tie-breaking kind of situation, then there is no need to open the tiebreaker ballot, right?
Yes, you don't need to open it at all. You will need to open it. I'll come to that 1 minute in a minute.
Okay, fine.
But you don't need to do it for the tie-breaking part. Yes. The one more aspect is there is one more form called the winner's notification form. As a CJ, once the contest is over, completely over, you're supposed to fill the winner's notification form. Now, what happens is, let's say there are 10 contestants. You have done the tallying. Let's say I take this situation itself. Let's say there were 10 contestants. All the judges somehow or the other has marked between Gayatri, Pinto, Ishwaran and Viji. These 4 only were there in some ballot or the other. And I have finalized and done the tie breaking and all of these things. And I've seen, okay, so the final result is Ishwaran is first position, Viji is second, Gayatri is third. And according to the tally sheet, Pinto is fourth. In the tiebreakers ballot, they have marked all 10. Now, what I will do is in the winner's notification form, I will first put Ishwaran, second is Viji, third is Gayatri, fourth is Pinto. Now, let's say in the tiebreakers ballot, there is a 5th contestant. Let's say, for example, Dinesh. Let's say Dinesh was the first in tiebreakers ballot. So Dinesh's name will come 5th. Then the next. So I'll fill in all the contestants' name from the tiebreakers ballot. However, after this is done, I will also look at the timer sheet now. So chief judge, it's not an easy thing. I will go there with a suit and boss around and come back. No, it's not easy. So there are 10 contestants. I have done this first, second, third, fourth. I have done. I will now open the timer sheet. If I see everybody is eligible, everybody has qualified, no problem at all. Now, let's say I have seen Viji got disqualified because of time. Okay. So what happens is automatically Ishwaran comes first. Because Viji is disqualified, Gayatri becomes second, Pinto comes third. Okay, Viji is disqualified as a whole. Viji's name will not go in the winner's notification form at all. Similarly, let's say there is a contestant whose name is supposed to come 10th, right? Only in the tiebreakers ballot that person's name is coming 10th, and that person has got disqualified because of time. You're not supposed to put that person's name in the winner's notification form at all. You will only give 8 names, excluding Viji and the 10th contestant who are disqualified.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it not logical to first check the timer sheet and then get into the judging part? Because like after doing all this analysis and then we are looking at the timer and then disqualifying. I mean, I'm just like trying to look at the optimization.
What sometimes might happen is you might mistake in the tallying if you look at the timer sheet first. Okay. Many a times this happens. If you look at the timer sheet first, no, then while tallying, you will get into that confusion. Okay, should I exclude this name from all the ballots or not? Better you have that tally and put that list in one view, and then you look at the disqualification instead, because otherwise you have to keep that in mind for every ballot you're tallying.
Yeah. And now I'm getting, because there are so many voting judges.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
So it's better to put all that marks first in that one tally sheet, so that you have that entire thing in one view, and then now look at the tiebreaker ballot or timer ballot. You have to look timer sheet, but the tiebreaker ballot as appropriate.
Okay, yeah, makes a lot of sense, because there are so many judges.
Yeah.
I have one question. This tie-breaking part CJ does only for the first 2-3 contestants, or for all 10 contestants? Wherever there's a tie.
First 3, because that will be announced. If the others, see, again in the tiebreaker ballot also, there wouldn't be any tie. So there is no chance of tie happening in any other position.
Okay.
If I'll quickly share the screen, you can explain the tally counter ballot, tie-breaking, and the winner notification. Yeah.
Sure, I'll stop sharing.
So I've shared it on the chat. I'm just, you can just take them through. So this is the tie-breaking ballot for people who have seen it for the first time. You can see the difference. This is very important.
Yes. So here, if you see, it is given till 10th position itself, 10th place itself. And even the tiebreaker cannot say, I have 2 people in 6th position. That doesn't happen. They have to break the tie and give all the 10 positions. Okay.
Tally sheet.
And yes, this is the tally sheet. So what you do is, let's say if you have 5 judges, you write the name of the 5 judges on the left-hand side first. Then you write, let's say you have 8 contestants. So you write the name of the 8 contestants on top. So again, let's say I as a judge have given Viji as first. So I'll put Viji as 3. Ishwaran second. So Ishwaran gets 2. Gayatri third. So Gayatri gets 1. Right? Yes. And thank you for putting that on. It's recommended, do not put the judge's name on the tally sheet. Just put it as J1, J2, J3. Recommended to maintain that secrecy. Okay. So yeah, this is how it will look like. So in this, for J1, Viji has come first, Pinto has come second, Ishwaran has come third. Right. For J2, maybe Pinto has come third, Viji has come second, and there is another contestant who has come, that will be 1.
Yeah, sorry.
Dinesh has come third. So this can be 1. So this is how your tally sheet will look like. Now, overall, what happens is, now if you see, both Viji and Pinto are tied for this. Okay. And Ishwaran and Dinesh is also tied. So between Viji and Pinto, you now look at the tiebreakers ballot. Whoever comes first, that person comes first. Let's say Pinto comes first. So Pinto is first, Viji is second. And in the between Ishwaran and Dinesh, so now see, Pinto is first. So Pinto comes first, Viji comes second. Between Ishwaran and Dinesh also, Dinesh is higher. So Dinesh comes third.
So here we'll go to the notification of winner then.
Yes. So in this notification of winner, now you have to mention all the 4 according to that. And in the tiebreakers, let's say if Shubhadeep's name is in the 5th place, so you put the 5th place, but Shubhadeep may not have been marked at all by any of the voting judges. Ishwaran. Maybe 5th is another contest. If the tiebreaker has put 5th, yes. Okay. Clear now?
Yes, I have one doubt, Subhadeep.
Yes.
People say that when there are more than 10 contestants in a club, at the club thing, should you have a semi-finals and finals?
It's the choice of the club. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to do it.
Okay.
It's a choice of the club that they want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll stop sharing.
Yes, I'll quickly go through a few more rules. I know we have exceeded the time a little bit. Let me go back.
If we don't have a problem, you have a flight to catch. You remember that?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to quickly go through the contest, the winner's notification form we have already mentioned. And please pass the same on to the next level contest chair, Don't do this that you have given it to the current contest chair and be done with it. Please follow it up as well. Okay. A contestant can be disqualified on what grounds? Quickly. Timing. What else? Originality. A contestant can be disqualified based on timing, or originality, eligibility, and referencing to other contestant speeches. If a contestant refers to another contestant's speech, they might be disqualified as well. This is also a rule that has been introduced by Toastmasters. This has been there for last year itself. Please be mindful about that. Okay.
So if a contestant says, as said by somebody in some other speeches,
yes, you will be disqualified.
Not necessarily the contest of that contest.
So if it is of that contest, then you will be disqualified.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Who can raise a protest?
Contestants.
Chief Judge.
Also, the CJ or
Contest chair.
Contestants can raise a protest. Who else?
timers.
CJ also.
Contest chairs, timers.
Tally counter.
Voting judge.
Can a contest chair raise a protest?
No.
CJ?
No.
Hey, CJ, man, come on. He's the chief judge.
Can
there is discrepancy in result, CJ can raise a protest.
No one can raise a protest other than voting judges or contestants. They cannot raise a protest. Eligibility criteria will be checked by contest chair from beforehand itself. Once the contest has started, the protest cannot be raised by other than the voting judges or the contestants. Okay. Who can the protest be raised to?
Chief judge.
Contest chair or the chief judge. Yes. Protest can be raised on what grounds?
Originality. Timing.
Order of the contestants that was identified.
Okay, so here are the things. Protest can be raised on eligibility. It has already, if it has been missed by the contest chair earlier, it can be brought up by a contestant or a chief judge. It can be raised in originality also. This is not applicable for evaluation contest. It can be raised for referencing to other contestants' speech as well. Why I'm saying it's not eligible for evaluation contest? Evaluation contestants will anyways not know the other contestants' speeches. Okay. Remember one thing, if a protest is raised based on originality, okay, if a protest comes to you, remember these things. First and foremost, it has to be proved. If I am a contestant who is raising a protest, I have to give a proof of that. Okay, that this is where it has been copied from. First. Second, if I am the, let's say I am the chief judge to whom a protest has been raised, first and foremost, I have to go and ask the contestant and give that opportunity for that contestant to clarify this. I cannot simply say that, yes, it is a valid protest. After that, I have to go and consult with all the voting judges. If everyone agrees that, yes, that is a valid protest, only then the contestant can be disqualified. Sorry, if the majority of the judges agrees that it's a valid protest, then only it is a valid protest and the contestant will be disqualified. Okay, I think that is the next question. Okay, I'll come to that question. I think I'll come to those scenarios in a little while. Clear about the disqualification?
Shubhadeep, one point to add. So you cannot reference another contestant also. Forget about their speech. You cannot reference another contestant. Like you might not know what they spoke about. Like I cannot say Vijay might have told this. So I cannot even reference Vijay at all. So that's applicable even in evaluation.
In an evaluation, in that case also you cannot do that. Okay. One more thing, remember, for originality perspective, there was a rule that it has to be a word by word copy. But now that rule has been taken off. It need not be a word by word copy as well. Right? But that is where the understanding of the voting judges comes in. Majority of the voting judges must vote that, yes, this is the valid disqualification. Okay, quickly going to a few scenarios. In an online or a hybrid contest, a contestant has finished and the next contestant is about to be called. When the contestant gets disconnected from the platform before his or her speech begins, what do we do? Anyone?
We can wait for two more minutes.
Yes. Okay. So this time we are saying we can wait to a maximum of 3 minutes. But if the contestant is not able to join back within the 3 minutes, the contest proceedings will continue. And that person, you cannot say this, that person will come back at the end and contest. That is not allowed. Please remember that. Okay. Within the 3 minutes, they have to join in. What if a contestant gets disconnected during his or her speech? What happens? These things will follow itself.
3 minutes.
1 minute, I think.
Okay.
I think
so
we wait for 30 seconds and let the timer continue. And if they're able to join back, then they speak, but the time does not get rewound.
Correct. So a buffer of 30 seconds will be added to the speaker's timing, which means, let's say for a humorous speech contest, the disqualification time would have been 7 minutes, 30 seconds. Instead, their disqualification time will become 8 minutes, which is basically the format that is followed in case of any technical difficulty or technical error. They are given a buffer of 30 seconds, but the timing will not stop. This person has to join back. Whenever they join back, they will be given the 30 seconds only. Now, remember this, the contest official must wait till the assigned time of the contestant runs out, which means if it is, let's say, if it's a 7-minute speech, a humorous speech, now the timing is 8 minutes. They should wait till that 8-minute runs out for the contestant to join back anytime in between. If the contestant joins back, reconnects, well and good, their disqualification time will be 8 minutes only. There is no extra time that is given, even if they join back after 5 minutes. If the contestant informs that I am not able to join back at all, then only the part which has been heard will be considered for judging. But if the contestant is not able to join back and does not inform as well that I am not able to join back, then it will be considered that they have run out the time and they will be disqualified on the basis of time. Are we clear? It will be considered that the contestant has run out over 8 minutes. That's why they are disqualified basis of time.
So, one question: what if there is a frequent disconnection, more than one time?
We'll still wait for that 8 minutes only. That's up to that contestant to handle. We will not wait for too long. Again, it's the 30 seconds only that is given.
Great. Thank you.
Now, even if, let's say, I stay disconnected for 5 minutes also, it is the 30 seconds. If I'm getting disconnected twice, thrice, it is the 30 seconds only. That 8 minutes will run till the time runs out. After that, they will be disqualified basis of time if that person says if that person does not inform that I am able to join back.
Yeah, Manik, should the contest master announce at that 8th minute, or how should that statement be?
Yeah, the timer will keep time of that 8 minutes. Once that 8 minutes, so the chief judge will inform to the timer to inform once that 8 minute runs out. If the contestant has not joined in, I'll give you one more scenario. Let's say the contestant joined back at 6 minutes and they keep on speaking for 10 minutes. Then you will not say 8 minutes is over. Understood? But if that contestant has not joined in and we are simply sitting and that 8 minute runs out, then the timer will inform that 8 minute is run out. Okay?
Yeah.
One more question on the page. Simply say, imagine if the contestant joins back in 10 seconds. So are we giving an undue advantage of 20 seconds to the participant?
This is the generic rule that we are following. Okay. We cannot maintain that 10 seconds or 30 seconds. This is the general rule. From a very practical perspective, we are trying to maintain a general uniformity. That's all.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll quickly go to a few other scenarios. What if a contestant gets disqualified a contestant gets disconnected while being in the holding area or in the breakout room, ideally, what do we do?
The SAA must contact the contestant if it's possible.
Correct.
And then to bring them back.
Yes.
If SAA doesn't, then contest master shall do that.
Correct. So we'll give them a minute for them to quickly join back. And remember over here, if understand this, for an evaluation contest, let's say if they join back, hold them don't admit them in the main room. Tell Zoom masters not to admit them in the main room, because what will happen is if they join back, they will join in the main room, right? So don't admit them immediately. Let the speaker finish, then admit them and move them to the breakout room. Because if you admit them immediately, what will happen is they will be able to hear the speaker as well. Okay. Okay, going to the quick next one. A judge gets disconnected while a contestant is speaking and connects back maybe within a minute itself. What do we do? This is for chief judges.
Two devices? Is it better?
No, if they get disconnected, what do you do? Well, definitely we recommend 2 devices, but if they get disconnected, what do we do? Okay, very important. Do not count the ballot of that judge for any contestant. Okay, it's not that you are not counting the ballot for that contestant. Okay. Don't count the ballot for that judge for any contestant, because that person is not giving you a fair judgment now because they were disconnected for a minute. And remember, while we are talking about all of these things for an online or a hybrid mode, this is the reason why we continuously say, be it judges, be it role players, be it contestants, please join for 2 separate devices with 2 separate connectivity. It's useless if your Wi-Fi, if your laptop and mobile are both connected to the same Wi-Fi, both will go off. Okay, so please have 2 separate devices. What if a judge get disconnected in between 2 speakers?
Before that, I have a question, Shubdeep.
Yes.
Yeah, what if whatever the tiebreaker judge gets locked out of because he's and then there is a tie in the final judgment? No, you're getting me right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why you see. This is why we say
I know this is worse, like no more.
Yeah, I know. This is why we say have backup role players. Tell them to join for 2 devices, please. Tell tiebreaker to definitely join from 2 devices. You will be in a soup otherwise. There is no practical way to it. Definitely, we can try to prevent these scenarios.
Okay.
Okay. So if yes, thank you. If a judge gets disconnected between 2 speakers, we give the same thing for what we are doing for the contestants also. We'll give them 3 minutes to join back. Chief judge, please keep an eye whether a judge is getting disconnected or not. Right? Say pause, give them 3 minutes for the judge to join back. If they're still not able to join back, you don't consider that judge's ballot. Okay. A protest is raised against this is what we have discussed. Ask for the proof from the contestant. Contestant must be given an opportunity to respond to that protest and consult all voting judges. Majority of the voting judges must concur in the decision to disqualify. Right? And remember, the contest master has to be informed that, okay, there were 2 time disqualifications and 2 disqualifications based on protest. The contest master must announce that there are 2 time disqualifications and 2 disqualifications based on protest, not the name of the contestants. You will just mention the number of contestants. Okay. With that concludes everything from my side. Let me stop sharing. I know this was a little intense and a little long as well. Please do let me know if there are any questions, any thoughts on what we have been discussing.
This is good, Shubdeep. Good insights. Thanks.
Yeah, very elaborative explanation, and then all the insights and then all the scenarios have been covered. Thank you so much, Shubdeep.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There has been a lot of things going on in the background. Look at Gayatri and Vijay's face. You will know what all has gone through. But again, please understand this. I want to conclude this on one note, and this is what I want. This is what we have been trying to propagate across the district. Please understand all these rules. All these things are not to stop someone from doing something or not to restrict things over there. We are trying to facilitate the contestants. And at the end of the day, our target is definitely to have a contestant at the world stage. And more importantly, get the best out of our contestants and our members, right? So please follow the rules, not because of following the rules, but to maintain that fairness and doing it in the right way. I have also put my WhatsApp number and my email in the chat window as well. If there are any questions, please do reach out. And I always keep saying, whenever you are in doubt, ask before acting upon it. You can ask any of our district leaders. You can reach out to me at any point. Please do that. And all the best contesting and judging in the upcoming contest season. Thank you, everyone. I hope this was a great JTP as well for everyone.